ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
For over a century, local broadcasting has evolved with the needs of the community. We move past the stigmas of opinion journalism and bring the most relevant news online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
It's time to start the program. It's time to earn our pay. It's time to meet the people on the Keeler Show today. It's time to read the news and weather. Time to figure out what to say. It's time to turn the channel of the Keeler Show today. Why do we always listen?
Keeler's always in the know.
It makes me want to call him
And tell him where to go.
And now let's get things started. Andrew, let's get things started.
It's time to get things started.
On the most sensational, inspirational, celebrational, Keelerational. This is what we call the Keeler Show.
WIDX 950 and 1069 FM. This is Keeler.
Well, a big win last night for Utica City FC at the Utica Auditorium. What a finish as they move on in the playoffs. If you were to tell me, I don't know, 6 years ago that they would have a pro soccer team and they'd fill the odd with 3,000 people, would you? If you were told that, would you believe it?
Nah, probably not.
But it was the case last night.
I could not believe the atmosphere in there. It was so exciting. The place was obviously Kansas City got out to a 3-0 lead, so it quieted a little, but you could feel almost the unrest in the audience. They were just waiting for something to cheer for, and what a finish! 7-6 was the final, I think. And again, maybe it's been too long since I've been to a Comets playoff game, but I thought it rivaled the atmosphere. I thought it was better than the atmosphere in some cases in a hockey game.
I have to agree. It was pretty darn exciting, and what a finish to the game to win with just a little bit remaining in overtime. Really, really.
Another come from behind win. We talked about this last.
They were down 3-0.
Yeah, and the last time they were down 3-0, right? Wasn't there a prediction on the microphone that somebody came out and said we're going to shut them out and get the victory?
One of the players came out and said, "We will come back. We will win this game," and they did. Wow. Okay, we have a lot to get to here today. It is spring break week. Of course, schools are off and a lot of people out of town. And for all those friends of yours who've decided to go off to better weather in Myrtle Beach, guess what? It's going to be warmer here than it is in Myrtle Beach. We'll be close to 70 today and tomorrow, and then close to 80 Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Now listen to what he said. That is not an exaggerated Keeler forecast right there. That's accurate.
Do you feel that I have a tendency to exaggerate?
Well, wasn't that a big thing? Isn't that how Richard introduced to the show?
Richard feels I'm the big exaggerator. But I have to say it was Richard that tipped us off last week to say that just wait. There's going to be about 8, 9, 10 days in a row where we're going to have warmer weather and plenty of sunshine. And that is what has been in the forecast. Pretty awesome.
I've been waiting for this for 10 years. No, I'm just kidding.
So I don't know if you saw followed any of the 3 Democrats, or I guess 2 Democrats that were ousted. 3 were on charges. One was a I guess all 3 were Democrats. One was white, 2 were black. And 2 of them were expelled from the legislature in Nashville And it looks like both of those lawmakers are going to end up being reinstated, which
So-
I think is the right thing. Ultimately, they were elected in their community, and there are many things you could do, right? Couldn't they censure them, or I guess they have the right to be able to expel, and they did, and people are up in arms over it.
So, was the idea? I have two competing thoughts here. Was the idea that it was similar to January 6th, so they took immediate action because there was a protest in the Capitol? Is that why the action was first taken?
Yeah, and I don't think it was anything like January 6th.
Okay, my other question is, did the full body have to vote to remove them? Because if that is the case, whatever happened to get to a complete 180, I thought was very telling that they made a move and then immediately acted to undo that move.
It looks like it was a close vote, and it looks like the legislature, each community has the ability to reinstate them. So that's where this is going to be coming from, not the legislature.
Okay.
And we'll get the latest on that from Tanya Powers coming up. Ryan Schmelz is on from Fox News as well this morning. We're going to speak with Mitch Ford. A very interesting. If you're living in the town of New Hartford, you're going to want to pay attention to this. If you're not living in New Hartford, you might want to pay attention just because this could happen in your community. But we're talking about a pretty valuable health care plan. How did he explain it? I mean, you had the conversation with Mitch last night. It looks like they're able to opt out and take a cash option.
Correct.
Which is almost $10,000, which, by the way, is almost what they make in the first place.
Yes. So I think it amounts to $8,500, and this is on top of the $12,000 a year that they are paid for the position. Again, that's not a ton of money. It just was alarming to me. It caught my attention. It's almost double. It's not double. It's $12,000 and then $8,500 more. But that was seemed to be a significant chunk. So anyway, we'll talk to Mitch and get his thoughts on it coming up at 7:30.
Mitch Ford is in this case, he's working more as a constituent in the town of New Hartford. He is also the Democratic chair for Oneida County. We'll talk with the new interim principal at Notre Dame High School and some more. There's also an actor who's going to be on. His name is Doug Plott. He was in Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt and is starring in a new project, but he has a very interesting story, and we'll get into that coming up later on this morning as well. Here we are for a Tuesday after a pretty big win for Utica City FC, and right behind it, the Utica Comets, I should say, are playing for a playoff spot. They need one more point. They'll be playing tomorrow night at the Adirondack Bank Center. They need 1 point, and they're in the playoffs.
So tomorrow night hosting Syracuse. Friday they host Rochester, and then they wrap up the regular season in Syracuse on Saturday, and then it's playoffs from there.
I know you want so badly for us to say it, but I can't believe it's already the end of the season for the Comets.
Oh, yeah.
I can't believe it's already the end of the season.
I know. It's 72 games. I know. Does it seem like it goes by quick?
You also can't believe that it's already tax day. That'll be coming up as well. The 15th is on Saturday, so keep that in mind. This week we'll also have Bob DeBono. He is that comedian at Fat Katz Comedy Club that does the incredible Trump impersonation. And he'll be performing 3 shows this weekend at Fat Katz. Friday night at 7:30 and then Saturday, 7 p.m. and 9:15. Bob will be in studio on Friday morning.
Looking forward to it. He's absolutely hilarious. Was he the one who, off the top of his head, when you threw a Ryan Nobles question at him, chimed in with I call him Ryan Not So Noble, when he was doing his Trump impression, which was absolutely hilarious. Looking forward to it on Friday. The guy's very, very funny.
Davey, I wanted to know your take on Jesse Edwards heading into the transfer portal.
He should just stay at Syracuse.
Yeah, well,
does it say where he's going to be going? Where are you looking at?
It doesn't. He has been Syracuse's starting center over the past 2 seasons, and has decided to leave Syracuse.
You know, one of the schools that's looking at Joe Girard is an ACC team. It's Clemson.
Yeah, I can't believe
and
that.
BYU.
Yeah, what a this is the shakeup post Boeheim, and boy, to see him, Girard. I mean, I just can't even fathom a premier player, whether he's performed or not. He really has never come to fruition for Syracuse.
Right.
But to see him playing against us, I mean, that's what this transfer portal is doing. I mean, it's really it's pretty crazy.
Right.
Let's see, what else did I want to get into here today for this Tuesday? How about the story out of Michigan? Here's a good one for you. Michigan man disguised himself as a Walmart employee while trying to escape from police officers. He went into the store after a 45-minute car chase with officers. Here's the Michigan Police Lieutenant Michael Shaw breaking down exactly what happened after the suspect ran into the Walmart. Here is audio.
One of the workers there said, "Hey, that guy doesn't work here." Troopers confronted him. One of them said, "Yep, that's our guy." He ran up to the front of the store where troopers were able to tackle him. Now, this is the first time we've had somebody go into a Walmart and try to disguise himself as a Walmart worker, and kudos to the person that got involved.
I guess it's a pretty smart move, right?
Yeah, it's not bad. I'm trying to remember if essentially your uniform at Walmart is only the vest, right? And does everybody wear the vest?
I think they do. Yeah. They probably looked and saw that he didn't have a lot of pins on or something. I don't know. Don't they wear the
or
pins?
nameplate, right?
They earn those pins. A little baseball news. Did you see that the Tampa Bay Rays are still undefeated on the season?
Is it 9 now or 8?
They're now 10-0.
Oh, wow.
After beating the Red Sox in a pitcher's duel last night in Tampa Bay. It was still scoreless in the bottom of the 8th until this went down. Here we go.
The 3-2. Swung on. High drive. Deep to right center. That baby is gone. Home run from Brandon Lau. And now he gives the Rays the lead.
I would caution Tampa Bay. As Mets fans, we know what it's like to jump out to a really big early lead and then blow it.
Yeah.
It means it's nice while you can enjoy it, but it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, if I was putting money on it, I would bet the Yankees will be right on their heels pretty soon, regardless of how the two teams start. But once we get past the All-Star break, you know it's going to be tight in the AL East. And the other thing is, didn't the Mets go, what did we go, 11-1?
I think it was 11 or 12. Yeah.
And then did we make the playoffs that year? Mickey Callaway, I know, was the coach.
I feel everything went south by around July. Maybe it was June.
That's Mets fans, we call that par.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
Meanwhile, a video went viral of a little boy crying because he finally got to see Manny Machado play last month at the World Baseball Classic. Many saw the video and made a video message for the boy. Here's audio of the boy at the game, followed by Machado's message, and then the boy's dad. Here's audio.
Hey, what's up, buddy? It's Manny here. I saw your video, saw how excited you were to watch me play, and actually hit a homer. I'm sad I couldn't meet you and sign something for you, so I'm gonna get with your dad and see if I can send you a little care package. I also want to invite you watch Assistant VP and then watch the game. I think you'll really enjoy that. So looking forward to meeting you, and wishing you nothing but the best, and hope to see you soon, buddy. Have a good one.
Oh my God! How amazing is that?
Yeah, who added the guitar music?
I was going to say, I believe Juan Soto was in the background playing guitar.
Oh my God,
for that bit.
You could barely understand what he was saying because of that.
Yeah, so Juan Soto was on guitar, and I think Blake Snell was also, maybe he was there a harp involved? I think there was a harp.
Could have been. Yeah. Mike this morning says, I always felt it's better to be in the lead of the league at the end of the season rather than being in the lead at the beginning. Boy, isn't that the truth?
Boy, if it had been the other way around, you know how many championships the Mets would win?
Oh, it would be incredible. And then let's see here. Today is National Pet Day.
Okay.
Are you going to do anything special for your pet today?
She might get an extra treat or two, maybe.
National Pet Day. It's a day set aside, I don't know, to honor your pet. I don't know. These days, they just keep coming around, don't they?
Yeah, there's. I almost wonder. I wonder, like in 10 years, are we going to start replacing these days with new ones, or is it going to be like we're going to have 14 things every day?
I do think there's a new lineup of days every year, but some get repeated.
Okay, right.
There's a lot of the repeating going on.
National Margarita Day, National Pepperoni Pizza Day, stuff like that.
Before you know it, it'll be May 5th, which is Cinco de Mayo. We'll be celebrating that.
Of course, you'll have May 4th, which is National Star Wars Day.
Correct.
4th
May the 4th be with you. A couple of music issues here. The promoter of one of the worst concert debacles ever, Billy McFarland, announced on Twitter yesterday that Fry Fest, the Fry Fest 2, is now in the works.
Oh, Fire, right?
Fire Fest. You're right. Fire. F-Y-R-E. Fire Fest. Have you seen the documentary?
Yes.
It's something.
That was the one with a couple of Utica folks got mentioned, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. Inside the Fire Fest, they'll be holding a Fry Fest. It's French fries everybody eats. But the Fire Fest 2, so basically this was all of these people paid all of this money. They showed up on this island, and only to have the concert really never go off, right?
Right, and part of that was not only just the music and the entertainment, but like they had paid for, I don't want to say housing.
Yeah, it was.
They were staying there for about a week.
It was so much worse than it was worse than Woodstock. The conditions were terrible. The bathroom facilities terrible, and all these high end tickets were sold. People paid a lot of money to go, but they're working on the Fire Fest 2 right now.
So here's my question: Is he's gonna rip them off twice as much this time? Why wouldn't you rebrand that?
Yeah,
this Fire was such a debacle. Why wouldn't you rebrand that?
Right, call it something else.
Fire 2. Everyone's got nightmares from Fire 1.
In his tweet, he asked anyone interested to pitch pitch in as to why they should be invited. Why should you be invited? It's, they're going with this type of thing where you should be privileged. You will be privileged if you get invited. The music festival is set to take place in the Bahamas April 28th through the 30th and May 5th through the 7th. McFarlane and rapper Ja Rule, did I say that right? Is it Ja Rule, planned the festival, highly publicized by notable social media faces like Kendall Jenner, and the list goes on. The music festival, which allegedly booked 33 music acts from Blink-182 to other big acts, included glamour, partying, and exclusive concerts. But when the weekend of the festival arrived, it descended into chaos. What will happen at Fire Festival 2?
While I don't want to look forward past summer, this fall I can tell you I'm going on a cruise. The name of the boat is Titanic 2.0. I'm really looking forward to it, and I think everything will be just fine.
And staying with music, Metallica is challenging high school and college-level marching bands to a competition using their music. Winners will receive instruments and equipment for their school's program worth over $150,000.
That's awesome.
That's kind of a cool idea, right?
Is this like the marching band type thing?
Yeah.
They'll do like the halftime show at the football games?
Correct.
That's cool.
Yeah. And one of the most iconic guitars of all time is hitting the auction block. Eddie Van Halen's guitar from Van Halen's Hot for Teacher video, which he also used live throughout 1983 and 84 tours, is expected to sell for between $2 and $3, get this, $1 million.
That's incredible.
The opening bid right now is $1.8 million. Van Halen gave the guitar to one of the band's drum techs, which he retired in 1990, but it changed ownership several times since then. The listing is on Sotheby's.com, and the opening bid is at $1.8 million.
Does it come with a current picture of the teacher that he was hot for 25 years ago?
I don't think it does. But here, by the way, is the Hot for Teacher guitar solo played by Eddie Van Halen. Pretty amazing. The only thing I got to tell you is just by owning the guitar, you won't be able to do that.
Well, I was wondering is, again, as a guy who doesn't play an instrument, that sounds very impressive to me, the whole, whatever you would call that, but all the notes he's doing on the guitar. That
The
sounds,
solo?
Yeah, the solo.
Although
Sounds
it's
like it would
really
be-
not a solo. It's the part in the song that was isolated. But
is he... That's not... Most guitarists can't do that, right? Is he, considered to be one of the greatest?
Oh, he's one of the great guitar
Oh, really?
players
I didn't
of all
know
time.
that.
Yeah. And let's see. There was one more.
Like
that
Hendrix,
I
Clapton?
wanted to. Hendrix is one of the great ones. Listen,
Stevie Ray Vaughan is one I've always heard about.
you have our own what's his name?
Joe Bonamassa.
Joe Bonamassa, who is considered one of the great guitar players in rock and roll and rock music. One of the great ones. But yeah, Eddie Van Halen would be. Even Prince was considered a really, really great guitar player. And if you've been watching any of American Idol, there's an afternoon DJ from Arkansas who made the top 24 on American Idol last night. Here she is with the judges and performing at Showstoppers Week from American Idol. Here we go.
Mary Beth Bird, what is the radio station saying about your life right now?
They are just thrilled. I keep getting texts every 5 minutes.
Yeah, she's pretty good, right?
Yeah.
By the way, she was also on The Voice in 2019 as a top 8 semifinalist. Her coach was John Legend, and her mentors were Usher and Taylor Swift.
So she's
And
been on
doing
another
really well.
show
Yeah,
before?
that
I think
surprises me
yeah.
that they would. They'd be like, "Oh, you've been on The Voice. Well, we'll get you too."
I do think
they
that's
have.
weird because it's always, again, I haven't watched these shows in probably over 10 years, but it was always like this is a person who comes out of nowhere, who isn't known for playing music, where now it's almost like a tryout. Well, I tried out for the Knicks. I didn't make the team, so now we're going to have a practice with the 76ers.
A couple of comments. Mike says, marketing promo for the Firefest 2. Come to Firefest 2. It's twice as bad as Firefest 1.
Exactly.
And
rebrand that thing, dude.
I do not understand that. Let us go to Tanya J. Powers from Fox News, who's standing by right now. Tanya, good morning.
Good morning, and for my money, one of the best guitarists is Joe Perry of Aerosmith.
Another great guitarist out there. There are a lot of good ones, Tanya. A lot of good ones out there.
There really are. I'm glad y'all mentioned Stevie Ray Vaughan, too.
So tell us, if you would, the expulsion of two of the three legislators in Tennessee. So explain what's going on here, and is it possible that I think at least one or maybe both of them will be reinstated? What do you know?
One of them already has been. And here's what happened. So last week you had the Tennessee House, the State House, the GOP supermajority in the State House there in Tennessee, voted to expel two of the three, the Tennessee Three as they became kind of known. And there were three Democratic lawmakers who protested there on the House floor in support of the demonstrators who had come to the Capitol. A lot of them young people, like high school age people who had come to protest and call for gun reform following the school shooting at the Covenant School there in Nashville the week before that killed 6 people. 3 of those were 9-year-olds, and this was a protest following that, calling for gun reform. And these 3 Democratic lawmakers stood in the House well and, supported them by, also calling for gun reform. And that is when, they were, punished basically by the GOP supermajority and voted out. 2 of them were voted to be expelled because they did not recognize House rules. Now, typically, this has only been done twice in the past since the Civil War. So those were, obviously rare cases, but both of those were for, like crimes.
Right.
One of those was for sexual misconduct. Another one was because he took a bribe, or the person took a bribe to kill a bill. So like serious conduct, serious crimes. This was the first thing that the first time it's ever been done because, they didn't, recognize the rules of decorum in the House, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we kept hearing a lot about last week was, they violated decorum. So they voted out two of them. The two they voted out were the young black Democrats, not the white woman who was the Democrat who was from Nashville. She only missed by getting voted out by like one vote. But that's kind of where we are. And then as soon as that was done, it went back to their their county or metro municipal boards to decide on a replacement. They have to replace them so that people wouldn't completely be without a voice that they represented. The one that was reinstated yesterday was done so with a unanimous vote by the Nashville Metropolitan Council. Tennessee Representative Justin Jones. He is the one who was representing Nashville, so he took the oath of office on the steps of the Capitol, entered the building last night, walked into the chamber with Gloria Johnson, who was the representative from Knoxville, the other one of the Tennessee three. Yeah. Justin Pearson represents Memphis, and he's the other one who was expelled. He could be reappointed today. There's a meeting of the Shelby County Commission. They are expected to also send him back. There a special election has to be held to replace both of these lawmakers. They have both already said they would run, and thanks to all of the national headlines that they've gotten since this happened last week with the expulsion, they've now got a lot more money to run with, and they've got national support from Democrats.
First of all, it's a bad look to begin with, but then the fact that the two members that were expelled were black, and the one who escaped being expelled was white, doesn't help, right?
No, it's not a good look at all, as you mentioned, because and that's one of the things that Gloria Johnson, she's a former teacher, and that's one of the reasons that she said that she felt very strongly about supporting these students who had come there to demonstrate calling for gun reform after the school shooting is because of her role as a former teacher, and she's the one who said, I believe this is not just about you were too loud in the House, so to speak. Her quote was something along the lines of has more to do with the color of our skin. The reason that they got voted out and she didn't. The reason that the GOP representative gave for not completely voting her out was something to the effect of, well, she wasn't the one holding the bullhorn. There was these little differences that they said, well, that's the only reason that you weren't voted out. She's the one who made that comparison. Yeah.
Tanya, listen, I find it hard to believe that something like this would happen in 2023.
Why?
I feel like we've reached it, and maybe I'm just naive, but I believe we've reached a point where we're passing by racism. We're passing by this sort of thing. And it's just so blatant. Everything is broadcast on television. It's so visible. I would think we're past this at this point in society, in American society. But I don't know that, I guess we clearly aren't, right?
No, I'm not sure that we are, especially with some of the things that have happened especially just in recent years.
Yeah.
I would say that unfortunately we have not quite gotten to that point.
Yeah.
Tanya, can I ask as well, when you say there was a demonstration,
yeah,
was it I believe somebody was trying to compare it to like a January 6th light. Was it that kind of, it obviously wasn't that kind of destructive.
No, they weren't. They were,
no.
I'll let her handle that.
This was a walkout of a lot of kids, a lot of high school kids, and I don't know if middle school kids did this as well. I'm not sure what the ages of the children, but a lot of kids did a walkout from their schools that day. And this was not the only day that they had been at the Capitol. They had been at the Capitol protesting and calling for gun reform, that's not a new thing. And remember, Tennessee is now a permitless carry state. So it's actually relaxed the rules of carrying a weapon or concealed weapon, any of that, in recent years. So that is another reason that they, wanted to demonstrate, apparently. But like I said, the school shooting was sort of the catalyst for the whole thing. And then you had them come to the Capitol with signs, and they were chanting and things like that, which you would normally expect from a protest. But could you compare it to January 6th? You're not the first person who has pointed that out. I've actually had other people to say, well, it was like January 6th. The main difference between that and January 6th is, first of all, these were, underage kids. These were not adults who were doing most of the protesting. Either way, nobody got hit with a flagpole and nobody died.
Yeah,
nobody got shot at the Capitol.
They weren't breaking out windows.
Nobody broke the windows and went in and just stole stuff and destroyed things. I mean, that there's a whole different level of violence that happened on January 6th at the U.S. Capitol versus, people being loud and holding up signs. There's two totally different things.
Yeah.
I mean, there's peaceful protest, and then there's what happened.
Correct.
Yeah.
I
calling
feel like
for change. Yeah.
I feel like there's no comparison to January 6th.
And I want to be clear, I was not making that comparison.
Right.
I'm shocked that they moved so dramatically to expel them, and a week later they're back. It's like, what happened here? My goodness.
Well, I think the backlash has been huge, right, Tanya?
Oh, yeah, it's been huge. What really all this did was elevate the situation.
Yeah,
It's definitely elevated the situation. It has gotten way more attention than it would have if they had just censured them. I mean, I guess that was an option as well for them. They could have
totally
said,
see.
well, we're going to take you off your committees and we're going to censure you and shame on you for being loud in the House. And they could have done that, and they chose to go completely all the way and say, no, you're not going to have a voice if you use it too loudly, basically.
And listen, the other part of this, I think, that has to be considered is I don't think there'd be any backlash if they were censured, if they would have gone that route. Maybe there would have been some, but not like this. The other part of this, I think, is, for those who support the Second Amendment, at the very least, you can, I feel, which I support the Second Amendment. I feel that the legislation, that any legislation you're going to pass is probably not going to change these school shootings that are occurring. We're never going to get all the guns out of the hands of people. It's not going to happen, realistically. That's just my opinion. But I also can understand the people who are protesting, saying we have to have gun laws, we have to strengthen gun laws, or what have you. I can at least understand the other side. There was a horrific act, another horrific act. They just seem to be happening over and over again. I can understand people's reaction. That wasn't considered here. It's almost as if they didn't consider the shooting that had occurred and the emotion that comes with that. I found that interesting as well. Does that make any sense?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, it's a really interesting situation, that at the same time, politically, I don't know that there will be any, I don't think there will be a lot of fallout for the people who voted them out.
Right.
It's I think it's basically strengthened both sides, because you have, the people who, agree with the folks who voted them out, saying, well, you acted in a very, stern manner and whatever, and good for you. And then you have the other side going, now there's a lot more people. Now there's a lot more eyeballs on it.
Right.
Which, may not be a good thing. Who knows?
Yep. Okay. All right. Interesting, very interesting topic. Tanya Powers, thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Have a great day. Tanya J. Powers from Fox News. Right. I mean, but we've lost that ability today to consider. I don't agree with you, but I understand, why you're up in arms. You just have a different take on this than I do. We don't look at issues that way
Unacceptable.
today, right? It is unacceptable today.
It
you got to be all in or you're all against.
The other thing is, Tanya mentioned, or you mentioned, that the National Democratic Committee is jumping on this. No kidding. I mean, some people, I hear some people ask, "What this going on or this happened?" I don't understand how even these Democrats vote Democrat. You want to know why? This stuff is why.
Well,
this is going to be jumped on and used, and it's not a good look for Republicans.
It certainly fuels their efforts, right? And it certainly creates a situation where they can raise money.
I don't know the exact motivation for how they voted, but I can tell you it certainly looks bad. It is a really bad look, and guess what? At the end of the day, those lawmakers are going to be right back on the council.
Mike says, well, I'm angry that the two people they kicked out were men, and the one that wasn't kicked out was a woman. Just a different take on this. That is also kind of interesting. Maybe that did play a role. But, man, the fact that the two that were expelled, were black, and the one who did basically the same thing, she was white, was not expelled. That's going to play a role, right? Okay, next hour, a bunch to get to. We'll talk a little about Ukraine and the leaked documents. How about this story? These leaked documents that are being published on Facebook. Dr. Kent Hall is coming up from MVHS. We'll speak with him. And then Mitch Ford, who's the Democratic chair for the Oneida County Democratic Party, serving as a constituent here this morning, talking about a healthcare issue in the town of New Hartford, where, in fact, what he says is a couple of the members who have taken the cash option are actually leaving the town council. They'll be exiting. So before they leave, we might as well take the cash, right? He'll lay out the whole thing for us coming up next hour. Also, Habaika's free money question of the day. We'll get to that. It's Friday morning. It's Tuesday morning. I'm thinking about Friday.
Wishful thinking.
With DeBono coming in studio. It's not Friday morning.
Believe me.
But it's just around the corner. It's Tuesday with really a warm front making its way in. And we go even further today as we'll get up to near 70 degrees today. Love it. And then next week, don't look to next week because we'll be back down into the 50s. But for now, we're warming up. I'll take it.
Yeah, I'll take it. And I thought you were going to say 40, so I'll take 50s. It's where we're supposed to be.
50s is where we're supposed to be. All right, well, break news is coming up straight ahead. Stand by. It's First News with Keeler in the morning on WIBX.
Don't catch the wintertime blues. Swing into golf savings at 15 of the area's top courses for $75 with the Town Square 2023 Seize the Deal golf card. Yes, that's right. $75 gets you 15 rounds of golf. Some courses include Valley View, Twin Ponds, Crestwood, Pine Hills, Sequoia Knolls, and more. There are a limited number of cards available, so don't delay. Get your $75 Town Square Seize the Deal golf card at seizethedeal.com.
We invest in Herkimer and Oneida counties.
We work with the community to make things better for old and young alike.
Today, tomorrow, and in the years to come.
Every day, we put the community's long-term savings to work.
Who are we?
We are the Community Foundation of Herkimer and Oneida counties.
FoundationHOC.org.
We're your community foundation.
Working to build a vibrant region
with opportunity for all.
Are you considering buying an electric vehicle or a plug-in hybrid? Wouldn't it be nice to just fuel up at home with an EV charging station? Potentia is helping to make the convenience of charging easier for your home and your business. As a leader in green electrical projects, Potentia has completed hundreds of large sustainable commercial projects across New York State and are now getting into the residential market. No more stops at the gas station. Charge at home conveniently and economically. With New York State's zero emissions mandate by 2035, Potentia can help design, supply, even install residential and commercial EV charging systems at your home or your business. From permitting and design through the complete installation, it's as easy as 1, 2, 3 with a turnkey EV charging solution with various packages and options available. They guarantee your satisfaction with all their products and their workmanship. Visit Potentia at 4685 Middle Settlement Road, New Hartford. Give them a call at 315-765-6184 or view their website at potentiamanagement.com.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language. Like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
It's incredible. After using Babbel, I'm ready to start having real conversations in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
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 Babbel, évidemment. Go to babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX 950 Utica, Rome, W295DI Utica, Rome, your news, talk, and sports leader, a Town Square media station.
He's still in critical condition. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. One of the two police officers wounded in the Louisville, Kentucky bank mass shooting.
Up in the hospital. Code 3.
That's police audio. After the rookie cop on the job just 10 days was shot in the head trying to stop the rampage that left 5 people dead and 8 wounded until police killed the gunman.
Witnesses say the shooter began in a first-floor conference room, sending employees running for their lives and hiding in bathrooms. The suspect was 25 years old, Connor Sturgeon, and an employee of Old National Bank, though apparently he had been recently told he was being let go from his job.
That's Fox's Lauren Blanchard. Now to Nashville, where the city council made Justin Jones his own replacement, voting to reinstate him to the seat in the state legislature Republicans ousted him from. Then Jones was sworn back in. Jones and Justin Pearson were expelled last week for leading gun control activist protesters into the Capitol. Pearson could be reinstated by a council vote in Memphis tomorrow. More than 3 years after COVID was declared a pandemic and killed more than 1 million people in the U.S., President Biden has signed a resolution ending the COVID national emergency.
While the president did not actually want to do this, according to White House officials, ultimately he did not veto it. He gave in and signed it. So just like that, the COVID emergency is officially over.
Fox's David Spun. Taiwan's president has condemned China's 3 days of war games around the island. It claims is Chinese territory. Now the U.S. is starting its own military drills with the Philippines and some Australian forces.
The code name for these drills translates as shoulder to shoulder, which is how China is intended to view the United States and its Asia-Pacific allies. The disputed South China Sea and the Taiwan Strait are the locations, and more than 17,500 military personnel are involved.
That's Fox's Jonathan Savage. America's listening to Fox News.
David in Pennsylvania writes in to tell us about his experience with Relief Factor. I tried Relief Factor for hip pain and was surprised that it also helped relieve my shoulder and foot discomfort. After taking it for a month, I stopped. And sure enough, the pain returned. So I started taking Relief Factor again, and within a week, the pain was relieved. I'm now taking Relief Factor daily. Well, thank you, David. You know, I've heard your story before. People stopping and then starting again because it works. As you all know, I had trouble with aches and pains, and climbing steps was brutal. Your first step to living the life you love, free from aches and pains, could just be to order the 3-week Quick Start for the highly discounted price of $19.95. After trying Relief Factor, over 500,000 people have gone on to order more. Try it for yourself and see what all these people are talking about. Go to ReliefFactor.com or call 800-4RELIEF to find out more about this offer. That's 800-4RELIEF. Live your best life and feel the difference with Relief Factor.
We've got some clouds, 38 degrees. WIBX News Time is 7:03. This news update is brought to you by Jackson Hewitt. Taxes are due. Have you filed yet? Well, don't worry. Jackson Hewitt is racking up the assists, and they will get you filed or an extension before the deadline. Beat the crowds by going to Jackson Hewitt today. Members of the state legislature were back in Albany yesterday, where they did approve another budget extender to keep the state government funded for the next several days. The new extender will be in effect through Monday, April 17th. It will ensure that thousands of state workers still receive their next paychecks on time. Lawmakers have been trying to strike a budget deal with Governor Kathy Hochul, but still the same issues need to be hammered out: affordable housing, minimum wage, and bail reform. The original deadline for the budget was April 1st. Meanwhile, Governor Hochul announcing her nominee to serve as the next chief judge of the New York State Court of Appeals. She has selected Judge Rowan Wilson, who has served as associate judge for the Court of Appeals for the past 6 years. The governor's previous choice, Hector LaSalle, was rejected earlier this year. If he's confirmed, Wilson would become the first African American to serve as chief judge. The chief judge position has been open since last year when Janet DeFiore stepped down from that post. New York State Police releasing the name of the victim in a fatal crash in Verona over the weekend. Troopers say 24-year-old Sabrina Stafford was driving on Beacon Light Road on Saturday night when her vehicle went off the road and hit a row of trees. She ended up being partially ejected and was pronounced dead at the scene. It's believed Stafford was speeding at the time of the accident. No other injuries were reported, and that accident is still under investigation. I mentioned this yesterday, but a reminder, a piece of traveling history recounting one of the worst days in U.S. history comes to Rome later this month. The Tunnel to Towers 9/11 Never Forget mobile exhibit travels the country on a high-tech 83-foot tractor-trailer that transforms into an 1,100-square-foot display telling the story of September 11th, 2001, paying tribute to the victims at the World Trade Center in New York City, the Pentagon in Washington, D.C., and in Pennsylvania. Among the 343 New York City firefighters who heroically gave their lives in service that day was Stephen Siller. His family started the Tunnel to Towers Foundation. You can read more about his amazing story on September 11th of 2001 on our website. The 9/11 Never Forget mobile exhibit will be on display at Griffiths International Airport at 592 Hanger Road next Thursday, April 20th through Sunday, April 23rd. It'll be open each day from 10 a.m. until 4 p.m. Another nice day on tap, dry, sunshine, and near 70. Full details from Eyewitness News Chief Meteorologist Craig Flint.
I'm Eyewitness News Chief Meteorologist Craig Flint in the WIBX Weather Center today. Partly sunny, windy, milder, some clouds by afternoon with a brief sprinkle Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, a high of 69. Tonight mainly cloudy, brief sprinkles, low 46. And tomorrow breezy early, a few morning sprinkles, then a mostly sunny, warm afternoon, high 71. For more on your local forecast, tune to Eyewitness News at 6 on WUTR. I'm meteorologist Craig Flint on WIBX 950 at 106.9 FM.
A few clouds, 38 degrees. WIBX News Time, 7:06. All right, huge win last night at the Adirondack Bank Center for Utica City FC. They advance in the MASL playoffs. A 7-6 win in overtime. An electric atmosphere last night. It was really exciting. I think, in that beer garden down there, I think they stand for the whole game, right?
Well, there are some high-top tables, too. There are some sitting, some standing. But that's a cool atmosphere.
It really, really was. And I'll tell you, we got to get – the Adirondack Bank Center's got to rock like that when the Comets are playing their playoff games. It was really exciting last night. I really had a great time. 7-6, Utica picks up the victory over Kansas City. Christian Segura, the game winner, and he had a hat trick last night. The NBA postseason is set to tip off today. The play-in tournament begins with the Atlanta Hawks challenging the Miami Heat in South Beach. The Heat claim the Southeast Division crown for the second straight year, finishing the regular season at 44-38. Atlanta placed second in the Southeast. And then the other game tonight is LeBron James and the Lakers taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves at the Crypto.com Arena. The winner of that game moves on to play the West's number 2 seed, the Memphis Grizzlies. 3 teams tied for the best odds in this year's NBA Draft Lottery. The Detroit Pistons, San Antonio Spurs, and Houston Rockets all finished with the 3 worst records in the league and all hold a 14% chance to win the NBA Draft Lottery. Baseball yesterday, the Mets, a 5-0 shutout win against the Padres. Max Scherzer earned his second win of the season. Jeff McNeil and Francisco Lindor each drove in 2. The Mets now 6-5. The Guardians beat the Yankees last night 3-2 in their series opener. Yankees dropped to 6-4. Giancarlo Stanton drove in both runs for the Yankees in defeat. That series continues tonight. Garrett Cole will get the ball for the Yankees. What else do I need to mention here? And Lincoln Riley and the USC Trojans are adding a former NFL head coach to their coaching staff. USC is expected to hire Cliff Kingsbury to work with the team's quarterbacks. Kingsbury was fired by the Cardinals in January after leading the team for 4 seasons in Arizona.
So I think I must be getting soft as the years go on. So I have. Do you remember like 5 years ago? I built a tiki bar in in my backyard.
It's actually really cool.
So the other day, all of a sudden, and we have alarms all over the place. So all of a sudden, the alarm is going off. I'm like, what is going on in the backyard? So I turn on the security cameras, and it is a bird is building a nest inside the inside the bar. So I went out. I'm like, okay, I got rid of everything, all the mess that is created, and then I put up things on the shelving. A couple of bottles, a Windex bottle, some stuff up on the shelving to prevent the bird from creating a nest up there.
You're crowding them out, yeah.
The stinking bird moved the stuff out of the way and built it again. I got rid of it and put some more things up there. Well, don't you know it, but yesterday that bird came back again, moved the things out of the way, and has created a nest.
And you've decided.
So now I'm just like, okay, because my wife's like, don't throw it away. Don't. So now I move the camera so you can literally see the bird as it's making the nest. You want to see it?
Yeah, I do.
I mean,
actually.
I feel like such an idiot. But there's the bird come popping in, and I've never seen them make a nest, but it's amazing how they do it.
That is really cool.
And it'll bring
Is
mud
that a
in.
live feed? Oh,
Yeah.
no, that's a recording.
No, it just was live. This is 2 minutes ago.
Oh, my
A
goodness.
minute ago. This was 7:06, so 4 minutes ago. So, and it's interesting to see that it brings in mud and it does all this stuff to make it to make the thing
straw.
secure.
Yeah,
it
yeah.
flutters its wings, and then it'll sit down and kind of check it out. It's like, yeah, I like the feel, like you would if you're making your own bed or when
your apartment.
When
Yeah.
Okay, and looking around, I kind of like it. I think it's good. So,
Think we should put the table there? No, I think it's good here.
yeah, I think it's good. I like the fact that I'm right next to the Grey Goose bottle. I think that is perfect.
That's like the living room portrait.
Yeah.
The bottle
Yeah.
of Grey Goose.
So it's well, you don't even have to leave the nest to get the bottle of, I need a cocktail. Don't even have to leave the nest. So anyways, I think I'm going to post some pictures and some progress. And literally could do a live feed. Like, remember when the giraffe was having the baby?
Yes.
Well, the robin's about to have some babies.
Yeah.
Over the course of, what does it take? Like 20 days or something for it to lay the eggs, and then all of a sudden it happens.
So, and also it's like the Utica Peregrine Falcon camera, right? There's a live, I believe there's a live stream of that.
Yes, this is my live robin feed.
And Dana commenting this morning, she actually said, you're right to leave it there. She goes, that doesn't make him an idiot. I've had a camera on Robin's on our porch before. He did the right thing by leaving it.
Thank you.
We have a finch nest in our garage this year, is what she said. Now, part of the reason I started laughing at the beginning.
It makes a mess, though. They make a mess.
You mean like they go to the
Yeah,
all over?
it just makes a mess. It's
Yeah.
it's a bar, for God's sakes. But by the time I'm really utilizing it for the late spring and summer, they'll be gone. I'll pull the nest out of there.
The reason I started laughing when you told the story, if I'm not mistaken, I was on the phone with you one night last week when the bird was out there, and you're like, what's going on? Somebody in the backyard?
Yeah.
Someone trying to get in here?
Yeah.
It's a bird with a
Yeah.
security camera.
It was a bird. Ryan Schmelz, Ukraine challenges the authenticity of the leaked Pentagon documents, in some cases showing that the U.S. is spying on our allies. Ryan Schmelz, good morning. What do we know?
Hey, good morning. Well, Ukraine has kind of echoed some similar sentiments in the intelligence community where they kind of are questioning some of the authenticity of these documents that have been leaked out, including documents that relate to, Ukraine as well as their war effort, where there's been doubts raised about their potential offensive against Russia, but also there's reports here that Ukraine may run out of air defenses by late May, which could open the door for Russia to continue its offensive in Ukraine.
This I don't think these leaked documents are doing any good. Do we look at it that way?
Well, there is some information in there that could be concerning for Russia, too. But there's also, accusations that Russia may have doctored some of this information, like adjusted some of the casualty counts that are in there to make it look like Russia's doing a lot better on the battlefield than what has been reported over the last, year or so. So there's certainly, and this is just another information of significant intelligence information being out there or being in a place that it's not supposed to be. Obviously, we're dealing with the situation with the former presidents and vice presidents having classified information. Now we're talking about significant military intelligence being leaked out.
Do we know any idea where the documents have or who's responsible for the leaking of the documents?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, right? Obviously this is still very fresh, and based off what we know yesterday at the White House press briefing, the Department of Justice has launched an investigation into this, and the intelligence community is, as John Kirby said, taking this very seriously and looking in and trying to get to the bottom of where this is. And as for, what this could mean for the future, he kind of said before we start making any major muscle movements, we need to get to the bottom of how this happened and figure out how this information got out there.
Yeah. So it may be someone from the inside, but it's also possible that hackers could have gotten in to discover information. I guess we don't know.
Yeah, those are all questions being asked. We just don't have the answer right now.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Ryan Schmelz, as always, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Have a great day. Ryan Schmelz from Fox News. Coming up, we'll speak with Dr. Kent Hall, as I mentioned. Also, Mitch Ford is a Democratic chair in Oneida County, but is also a constituent in New Hartford. He foiled a whole bunch of information, and it is quite interesting. When you talk about, they were recently, the New Hartford Town Board was recently gave themselves a raise to begin with. Now you're looking at health insurance and being able to take the cash option. It adds basically $8,500 in cash is that cash option. Pretty good deal, though, right?
Sure, I'll take it.
Yeah.
I certainly would.
We'll speak with Mitch coming up in just a little while as well. And Hope Micah's free money question of the day is coming up. Manaski has some comments we'll get to coming up, but let's break first. 7:16 at WIBX.
Honey, why are you peeking out the window and spying on the neighbors?
I can't stop watching what they're doing to their house. Look at that. They added a sunroom and put in a pool. Do you think they won the lottery?
No, not the lottery. Julie and Jeff got a home equity loan from Adirondack Bank. They're using the equity from their home to renovate.
Really?
Yes, Adirondack Bank has home equity rates as low as 3.99% annual percentage rate. You can access the equity in your home to fund almost anything.
Huh. Maybe we should call Adirondack Bank. What about a new kitchen? Wouldn't that be awesome? Well, then, of course, we would need new furniture, and we could repair the roof. Oh, and even take that trip to Italy that we've always talked about. And, of course, I need a new car.
Slow down, honey. Let's go talk to the experts at Adirondack Bank.
Stop into your local Adirondack Bank for more information on home equity loan rates as low as 3.99% APR. Or call 877-404-2265 for credit costs and terms. Apply today at AdirondackBank.com. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Hi, I'm Carrie Baker, and I'm a hospice nurse. What made me decide to work for hospice and palliative care was the direct one-on-one contact you get with the patients and families. It's so important to be able to give the support that a lot of other avenues of care don't allow. I enjoy most about working with hospice just the one-on-one care. I can't stress enough how important it is to be able to dedicate attention to detail and just the thoughtfulness that you can provide to those families in their own unique circumstances. The benefits to the families that I see when they start working with hospice and palliative care is this incredible support system that they have. I mean, if they need a social worker for questions, they have additional hours for care for their family member, or just a question in the middle of the night. Gee, my husband doesn't look right. I don't know what to do. We're always just a phone call away. They often say, we couldn't have done this without you. It means so much to us that you show up.
Hospice and palliative care. When you need us most.
Only 1 week left to file your taxes. But don't worry, Jackson Hewitt is racking up the assists. We guarantee your biggest tax refund and guarantee the accuracy of your return for life. So make a fast break to Jackson Hewitt. Our tax pros will get you filed or get you an extension before the deadline. Beat the clock and the crowds. Come in and file today. When every dollar matters, it matters who does your taxes.
Hey, in Sarah's Flooring Outlet, if you're looking for flooring, there's only one place in Sarah's Flooring Outlet, the area's leading flooring store when it comes to anything flooring, and that includes the most amazing Pergo Extreme by Mohawk. This is an incredible flooring with deeper protection, superior wear layer, layered construction offers the best protection against wear and dents. It's dent-proof, 100% waterproof, kid-proof, and pet-proof. And only at Sarah's will you get the Pergo Extreme 60-mile radius price match. They'll beat or match anybody's price within a 60-mile radius of the store. Pergo Extreme from Sarah's and all flooring. If you're looking for flooring, for us it was hardwood. And we added hardwoods to our home, and they did just a beautiful job. The installation was pure craftsmanship. The product was incredible, and just the service we received from Sarah's was awesome. So I say, if you're looking for flooring, forget the box stores. Go to Sarah's and get the service and the best price you're going to find, and, of course, that 60-mile price match for any of their Pergo Extreme products. It's in Sarah's Flooring Outlet, online in sarahsflooringoutlet.com, the largest inventory in Central New York, Route 49 Plaza, River Road in Marcy.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All right, some comments from Manaski. What do you have?
Okay, so Lance and Lee, no, we're not mad at you. We just a couple times got busy. So this was in regard to last Friday, and I think we were talking with Mike Hennessy at the time. And I made the comment, and I believe I asked Mike, Mr. Hennessy, I said, what do you think of the list of accomplishments, Tony? And so Lance and Lee said his accomplishments have put the county in tremendous debt. And then he also said term limits are essential. And then this morning he said, maybe you've instituted a gag order on my comments. Not at all. Please keep them coming. Anybody can send us a comment or a thought via the WIBX 950 mobile app. I have another one here. So I put up a story yesterday. You know, I grew up in East Utica, and there were obviously several places that I remember from my childhood. But one, for years and years and years, a long time, way before me, there was a big building on the corner of Mohawk and South Street, right across from that plaza where the McDonald's is, and there's a bank over there. Yeah. So there used to be a bar there. I know there were a couple of different restaurants there, and then there was some housing on the second level. And people who maybe remember the area, used to be like a brick building, but then it was redone with half of the building was green siding and the other half was red. So, and you could see it was like a 3-story building. It stood out. So it was demoed recently, I want to say last week, and I think they're putting the finishing touches on the cleanup over there. And it just looked like a giant hole at that intersection there, again, Mohawk and South. So I put up that story yesterday on our website, and Paul commented because I talked to a lot of different people, and they said, I remember it was this, and I remember it was this, and I remember it was this. So I wanted some feedback, and Paul said A7, I think that's what he's saying the name of the restaurant was at the time. A7 was at the corner of South and Mohawk in that building. At the time, it was one of the best Asian restaurants in the city. It took a while to get your food, but it was always hot off the grill and delicious. So thank you for that, Paul.
I've been in there. I remember being in there. I just don't remember what the name was. It had gone through a couple of different names.
I remember it as Nowhere's. Matter of fact,
Nowhere's, that I remember.
I talked to Buckley, and he said when he was a kid, he remembers it being an Italian restaurant. But we fought to figure out what the name of it was.
That goes back to the Dark Ages, for God's sake. And David says, I just listened to your interview with Hennessy yesterday. His understanding of property tax system is wrong. If he went to Westernville and stirred up the public with wrong information, that is concerning. Here's a qualifier. I live in Herkimer County. I don't have any skin in the game for Pacini nor Hennessy. And I have never met or spoken to either. My understanding is that Western just did a reassessment.
Yes. That's why they were up in arms.
Get assessments up to 100%. That does not raise taxes nor give Western more money on its own. I've heard assessments tripled and doubled. Even if the assessments were perfect last year. Their level of assessment was 48%. So if they went to 100% of the value, their assessments would have doubled. And this does not double their tax rate, i.e. last year's tax rate might have been $10 per thousand, where this coming year, theoretically, it would go down to $5 per thousand. Property taxes and assessments are very confusing, and politicians that don't understand the system can easily stir the pot like Mr. Hennessy did with misinformation.
All right, so I will reach out to get somebody on to explain this because I know this is confusing as well when you talk about assessments and reassessments and how it affects the property taxes. I think I'll say the caller, but I think the individual is correct. We got to find the right person to come on and explain how all that works.
All right. Davey, you got lines ringing off the hook in there, man. Just letting you know. That's David. We appreciate that, Dave. And Dr. Kent Hall on the line right now from MVHS. Doc, good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing this morning?
Good.
We have a comment here from FX in New Hartford specifically for Dr. Hall. And I guess this is a great position to start. The president ended the COVID emergency. If the governor ends it, will MVHS rehire terminated healthcare workers?
I think the governor already ended it, didn't she?
I thought she did. Essentially, I think this comes down to, does the mandate still exist? And do you have to have been vaccinated at some point in order to work for MVHS?
So the mandate still exists because it's a federal there was a state mandate and a federal mandate. So the federal mandate is still in existence, which says that if you're going to be working in a healthcare system, if you're going to be working in a healthcare system that takes, Medicare and Medicaid, then you have to follow their rules, and one of the rules is that people have to be vaccinated.
Okay, and that despite the fact that that Biden has just lifted the COVID pandemic emergency, that mandate still exists. That stays like it would be, I guess, if you didn't have your measles vaccination.
Correct.
Okay, all right.
And you couldn't. You mentioned the requirement for Medicare, Medicaid. This isn't something that you could lift on your own and just say, we're going to do our own thing here, right?
No, that would not be a very good thing for a healthcare system to do.
Yeah.
I didn't think so. I think some people are under the impression that it is, 3 doctors in a room going back there. You know what? If we do this, we can get rid of X, Y, and Z. And I think people think that it's a local decision, and I don't believe, and I think Dr. Hall just confirmed it's not. It's not a local decision.
That's absolutely true, and so we are very cognizant of what the federal government mandates, what the state government mandates, which there's obviously significant overlap, but there are also some differences, and we have to make sure that we are in line with all of them, and so what we do is we look at what is the strictest, and that's what we do. That's how we align what our policies are.
Okay. We have, of course, basically proclaiming that the pandemic is over. That is what we have done, but it does still exist. People are still getting hit with it. And I've heard of recently some people who the entire family got sick and really sick, emergency room sick with COVID. But what I found is while I believe they may have gotten the first shot, they were unvaccinated. Are we still seeing people who are unvaccinated having a tougher bout with COVID?
Yeah, so in general that is true, although, given the fact that we're 3+ years into this now, there are so many people that have gotten infected, either the vaccine or if not the vaccine, then they've gotten infected, that there is immunity that is kind of circulating out there, which is also protecting people to a very great extent. So we're not seeing. So a combination of things. Number one, based on that, we're not seeing as many people get as sick. That doesn't mean people don't get sick from it and very sick from it, but it's a lower number of people. And the other is that the evolution of the variants, the variants that are circulating now, and there are new ones that are coming down the pike, by the way. The ones that are circulating now are more transmissible, which means that they are easier to spread from person to person, but they cause a less severe, in general, they cause a less severe illness. And so people are having milder symptoms. That doesn't mean that people won't get seriously ill with it, but it is a fewer number of people.
Yeah. And what about if you've been very careful, for those people who have been extremely careful, not coming in contact with people, they haven't gotten COVID. Are they more susceptible to a serious bout with COVID?
So if they have kept themselves completely isolated, so they've never come in contact with it, and they have never gotten a vaccine, so they really have zero immunity, then yes, they would be prone to having a more severe illness should they come in contact with it. Everybody knows I'm a big proponent for the vaccines, and so I would say that, hopefully those people that are really trying to protect themselves have also gotten the vaccines, although there's probably some population of people who, have been protecting themselves and for whatever reason don't want to get the vaccine, so they've truly been putting themselves in a bubble. If they are exposed and get infected, then yes, they have a higher likelihood of having a more severe bout. That being said, that's not 100%. They have a higher likelihood, but I can't guarantee that it would be, they would require an ICU admission or even a hospitalization.
Right. Really, just like when the virus first started infecting people. Right? Some people were hit hard, others weren't hit hard at all. Some barely had symptoms. It depends.
Correct. And, a lot of it depends on, what your overall health is. We do know, and we've talked many times about what people with certain medical conditions, whether it's cancer or heart disease or diabetes, are more prone to having severe illness. So that is a factor. Your genetic makeup and your ability to fight off infections in general. Some people's immune systems are just stronger than others, and so that also plays a role. There are a multitude of factors that play a role in how you would individually respond to getting an infection.
How close? Someone asking, how close are we to vaccines for cancer? There was a recent story that I read about this. How close are we, Doc?
Yeah, so there's a lot of work being done, obviously, in that, and we are close to getting some vaccines for some cancers. So remember, we think of cancer, when we talk about it, we think of it almost like it's a single disease.
Right.
And the reality is that cancer is probably over 100 different diseases, that all have their own specific characteristics depending upon the organ system, whether it's skin or liver or lung, and also even then, there are subcategories. So I would say that there's a lot of work being done in developing that vaccines for certain cancers, understanding which ones would actually be amenable to that kind of treatment, and there's a lot of work being done on what's called immune therapy. So not just vaccines, but also trying to target specific cancers with medications that will actually stimulate the immune system to fight the cancer off. So a lot of work being done in both of those areas.
Dr. Hall, we have a comment here, and this is a follow-up to my first question. This comes from John. He says, Ellis Hospital in Schenectady is hiring nurses from MVHS that were unvaccinated. I don't know how much of this you know or can comment on. How can Dr. Hall say that when a hospital down the thruway is hiring other unvaccinated nurses? As a follow-up to our previous question.
Yeah, so I can't speak to what Ellis is doing or not doing. I know what the requirements are. I will say that the federal requirements do add a loophole of So there's the medical exemptions, which relates to, if you cannot get the vaccine because you have a severe allergy to one of the components of it or something like that. And then there is the religious exemption, which existed in the federal but not in the state. And again, I don't know. I can't comment on the specific, people that may be going somewhere else and why that is. I just know what the requirements are.
Sure.
And just a quick update on where you stand with the new hospital. What is being done right now as we're about 6 months away?
Yeah, so there again, a lot of work. We're really, we've been moving fast, but now we're picking it up to what I would call warp speed in terms of preparation. So from a physical standpoint, work is continuing apace in terms of finishing and things like that. The space, I was down there 3 weeks ago. The space looks fantastic. We're now really starting to push hard in terms of how is it that we're going to work in the new space? What is our workflow going to be? And it's complicated. You look at an emergency department and there's a lot of moving pieces there. But the emergency department interfaces with the ORs and with the floors and with the cafeteria. So there's a lot of not only how an individual area works, but how it works in conjunction to the larger, what I would call organism, which is the hospital itself. So a lot of work being done on that. We expect that we're going to have people that are going to start to work through it. By work through it, I mean, go down and actually walk through, and we're actually going to start to have almost like drills, probably starting in late summer. I want to say August and early September before we move in. So,
just a couple of observations. I was in a hospital room 2 weeks ago, and for a family member, and in this particular hospital, there were 2 people per room. Is the new will the new MVHS, will every room be private or just some of the rooms?
So all of the rooms are private rooms in the Wynn Hospital. There are a number of rooms. I think it's 2 on each floor. So a total of, I think it's 8 rooms. Are large enough that they can and have been set up so that they can actually have 2 beds, so we can expand it somewhat. But right now what we're planning is that there's going to be 273 rooms, all single occupancy.
Talk about the process of maternity, the maternity rooms. They seem to be large rooms.
Yeah, so the maternity rooms are designed basically that the expectant mom and family can go into a room, and that room will be where they get settled, where they're having their labor, where they actually deliver, and then where they stay. So they are soup to nuts rooms. And it should be a very good experience for the moms, not having to move back and forth. We've been doing what we call rooming in, which is basically where the babies stay with the moms once they're born, and don't go to a nursery necessarily unless they have to, unless there's a medical condition that requires that. And so we are continuing that, and we've built the maternity area to basically follow that paradigm.
And then finally, another observation that I had as we were in the room, the nurse came in and was looking, I think it was taking one of the other patient in the room, taking blood pressure, I think. But I found something interesting, and it made me think of what's going on at the Wynn Hospital. And she said, where is the... And then she said, and this is how she said it, where is the, everything in every room is in a different place. And that is something that when we did our last tour, has been thought about, I believe, for MVHS and for the new Wynn Hospital, where every room will be identical. Everything will be in the same place. Talk about that if you could.
Yeah, So that's a very good point, and this goes to how the hospital was designed and how it's being engineered is exactly what you described, which is that every room looks exactly the same. So you could be in room, 422 on the 4th floor or 738 on the 7th floor, and you wouldn't know the difference because the rooms are all the same. All the supplies will be in the same place. The beds will be in the same place. That what we call the head wall, which is where the oxygen and things like that are all in the same place. So it's going to make it a lot easier for staff that they won't have to say, "Oh, I'm in this room, so it's over here," as opposed to over there. It should make workflow a lot easier.
Okay, that's what I have for the day. We appreciate it, Doc. We'll talk again next week.
Thank you so much.
Sounds good, everybody. Please have a good day, and please be safe.
All right, Dr. Kent Hall from MVHS. All right, coming up, let's do our free money question of the... Sorry about that. Free money question of the day. Davey, this morning we're going with caller number what?
Caller 4, Bill.
Fourth caller through the lines. Listen, I have for you a chance at cash. We have the all-in-one food and fun card, which is good at the Adirondack Bank Center, at Nexus, or at Aquavino, Babes, 72 Tavern and Grill, or Taylor and the Cook. We also have a table for 6 at Fat Cats Comedy Club for this weekend with the most amazing Trump impressionist out there. He is incredible. He'll be in studio on Friday morning. Bob DeBono, the table for 6 on that coming up as well.
People tell me all the time.
You're getting there.
All
You're getting
the time.
better each time you do it. Right now you're at a combination of Jim Nance and Donald Trump, but you're getting there. You are getting there. All right, we'll do that contest coming up, and then we'll speak with Mitch Ford. Did you know in New Hartford there are benefits to becoming a council person on the town board? Some really incredible benefits. You might not even know about them. We're going to tell you what we've learned. Coming right up here. Hold tight. Coming right back at WIBX.
Power Sports of Utica is holding its grand opening event on the 28th and 29th of April. We have over 350 vehicles in stock and incoming for you to see. Come celebrate with us at the store over great food, drink, and entertainment. We can't wait to see you there.
It's our Power Sports of Utica grand opening, April 28th and 29th, with over 150 new and used Harley-Davidsons in our pool. 0% down, 3.99 APR on select Harleys. Grand opening discounts on boots, helmets, shirts, and apparel.
COVID is still spreading. Don't let your guard down. Anyone can get severely ill from COVID. But your risk is greater if you're over 65, if you're obese, have heart or lung disease, diabetes, or another underlying health condition. Lower your risk of serious illness, hospitalization, and death with the most up-to-date COVID vaccines, including the booster. Learn more at ny.gov/booster.
I'm Scott Trout, attorney and CEO of the domestic litigation firm Cordell & Cordell. We help men deal with the life changes triggered by divorce, such as child custody and property division, among many others. But life changes also occur after divorce. These changes can make parts of your existing court order irrelevant. If you feel a modification to your court orders might be necessary, talk to us at Cordell & Cordell. We're a partner men can count on.
Online at CordellCordell.com, 518-554-0000, 100 Great Oaks Boulevard, Suite 110, Albany, New York, 12203.
Are you ready to make the most important decision for your child's future? Some are easy, some are not. Some make all the difference, like choosing Notre Dame schools. Offering grades pre-K through 12, your child will be ready to learn and thrive in a challenging atmosphere surrounded by great teachers and the most current technology. Notre Dame offers small class sizes, high academic standards, and spiritual fulfillment. At Notre Dame, we foster an environment of diversity and community. Students feel supported and more confident in achieving their goals. Our students learn from each other and are challenged to grow and develop their innate talents. Notre Dame is faith-based, but everyone is welcome. If you have higher expectations for your child, Notre Dame offers a higher level experience. If you're ready to launch your child's future into the most successful career path and build the next generation of leaders, call today for a tour or visit NotreDameUtica.org. Notre Dame schools, ready to learn, destined to lead.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language. Like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
It's incredible. After using Babbel, I'm ready to start having real conversations in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Babbel. Évidemment.
Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
You know it's going to be a hell of a news day when the headline that you're reading is about the Dalai Lama, and when the headline you're reading says, you know it's going to be a hell of a news day when the headline says the Dalai Lama has apologized for asking a boy to suck my tongue in a viral video that was just exposed. The hell is going on?
Serious?
Yeah.
It's not like one of those deep fakes where they...
I do think it's real. I do think it's real.
Is that a thing? Is that like a thing?
To suck my tongue?
Yeah.
I guess it could be, but hopefully you're speaking that way to someone who you're intimate with, I would think.
Right.
Even that is like, I think if I told my wife to suck my tongue, I think she'd probably not appreciate it. I don't know. Maybe she would. Maybe it's a thing.
I just, I didn't know if that was like lost in translation. What he meant to say was kiss my blank.
Yeah.
And I just don't. That's
Maybe lost
odd.
in translation. It's possible. Anything is possible. Let's go to Pat, who's ready to take a shot at our free money question of the day. Hello, Pat. Good morning.
Hey, guys. How are you?
Good. All right. I feel this is a good one for you and could be worth some cash here this morning. Are you ready, Pat?
Yes.
All right, here we go. Rebecca, Leslie, Jamie, and Coach Beard are characters on this hit series. Ready, go. Rebecca, Leslie, Jamie, Coach Beard.
Boy, no guess.
Anybody on that one?
Is it Ted Lasso?
It's Ted Lasso.
Yeah, you're all about this. You love it.
Love Ted Lasso.
That's how easy the question was today.
I know.
There's people screaming at their dashboard right now.
And the difference, though, Pat, is if you don't watch it, you wouldn't know it.
Sure.
Well, here's the sad thing. I watched the first 2 seasons. I've been holding up on the third.
Oh, you have. Coach Beard is Coach Beard's the one that gives it away.
Coach Beard's the giveaway.
Yeah.
So great series. I started watching the third season yesterday, like I was gonna.
Listen, we just and you know they do it in a way where they hold episodes. So you watch an episode, you gotta wait till the next week. So the new episode comes out tomorrow night.
It's like you're a junkie. They string you out a little bit.
That's exactly right. It's old school. Okay, Pat, we're going to give you, though, I have a table for 6 this weekend at Fat Cats Comedy Club. Bob DeBono is just phenomenal. His Trump impression is incredible. He'll be in studio on Friday morning with us. Also, the all-in-one food and fun card, a $25 gift card for you. Stand by. Davey's going to hook you up.
Thanks, guys.
All right, Pat. Thanks so much.
Have a good day.
And of all things, this is a show that Pat has watched, and the key to the whole thing is Coach Beard. All right, what are we talking to? Because it looks like I'm going to House of Good Shepherd here.
Yes.
Okay.
So this is about, and we've been telling people about this here, and you can get more information on our website. House of the Good Shepherd is looking for foster homes, and it's incredibly important, obviously, and you can provide really quite a difference in a child's life who needs stability and some support at any given time. In 2022, the House of the Good Shepherd helped over 430 kids in their foster care program, and we are talking with someone now who has been a foster parent before and what their experience is like. And we say good morning to her right now.
Hi, Stacy. Good morning.
Good morning.
Stacy Schaefer, you were a foster parent.
We are a foster parent currently. We have 7 children in our home that are foster children.
So talk about the experience and the difference you make in these kids' lives.
It's quite amazing, to be honest with you. Some of these children have never experienced holidays, as well as, just the structure within homes and the reliability of, constant parenting within the home.
Do you have children of your own, or are all 7 foster children?
We do have children of our own that are in the house as well. We have one of our own that is still within the house, and we have some that are out of the house.
Okay.
Grown.
So I think some people think that if you have your own kids, that maybe they wouldn't want to foster a child. But this is something, right, that your kids are a part of, and having your own children does not disclude you from foster parenting.
It does not. And I actually, that's one of the best things we've done for our child for different backgrounds and diversity reasons, as well as it makes our son appreciate what he does have.
Yeah.
Every day and seeing some of the experiences, he has built some great relationships with the children in our home.
I would imagine that. I'm not sure I understand. Oh, somebody's Siri's going off. I would imagine that this past Sunday was pretty special. I assume you may be Christian and celebrated Easter.
We did, for sure. Definitely a great experience. They all obviously received Easter baskets and bikes for the year. We camp.
Wow.
And we do take them all camping. So definitely was fun, and be able to see them experience that is a great experience.
Can you talk about the support that you get when you are doing something for the holidays? Obviously, you have additional mouths to feed and baskets to open, et cetera.
Yeah, this can be an inexpensive endeavor.
It is not, for sure. I mean, you get a stipend for each child, and that money is utilized towards those things. In addition, House of Good Shepherd does help support families. They're very great with that. Every holiday, it would be either something to help, whether it be a gift card for food or additional. We've taken a placement in right before Christmas, the week before Christmas, this past year. And they helped to make it so the children had the same Christmas experience as the ones already in our home. So It was fair. So they definitely have supported us in every way, shape, or form. My husband and I work full-time as well. So we both work out of the house, and they are a great support system in order for us to be able to do it.
Do you, the thing I've always worried about, and when it comes to becoming a foster parent, is you become incredibly attached, you create a relationship, but those children could be taken out of the home at any time, right?
Yep, we've experienced that, but I'm going to tell you the reward itself in knowing that you gave that child probably one of the best experiences that they've had, as well as, camping trips and other trips. We've gone to Hershey Park, et cetera, where maybe some of them wouldn't have been able to experience it. So knowing that they're safe and secured for that amount of time period is definitely worth it, for sure. It is difficult when they go home, but that's the purpose, is, you go into it knowing that, some of them may go home, and you work with that biological parents as well. And I've had some go home, and I still have contact with the children and the biological parents.
Can I tell you that, and this you can observe on your own and just think about this on your own, based on your own experience. Yeah. And that is looking at a child who maybe it's a broken family. Maybe the parents are divorced. One, the child goes to moms and to dads, or he wasn't brought up with a father but has a mom, or whatever that scenario might be. The thing that I have observed and learned is it is so important for a kid, especially when they are growing up, a child growing up, to have an example to look up to. They could be in a very difficult situation for half the time, or whatever percentage that might be, that if they are given an example of a proper family and proper rules and manners, et cetera, that plays a huge role in a child's life. Can you talk about that? Because, these kids may have been coming from very difficult, my guess is they are coming from difficult previous situations.
Yeah, we've absolutely had a wide variety of severity to less severe trauma, as well as, just experiences for the children. I had one child who came to me who was, 6 years old at the time and even unable to begin to write her name. This child's been in my home for 2 years and did have some medical condition as well, ADHD. And during the 2-year time frame, she went from not being able to write her name till she's reading short story books.
Wow.
This child has thrived absolutely in a very structured environment. And, we have other children as well in the home that, have delays, but they have increased their learning development since being in our home.
And then how do people go about it? Someone is listening to this right now and thinking, this might be for me. How do they proceed?
I would absolutely reach out to House of Good Shepherd. You could as well go to their website, and all the information is available for you right there. They run many numerous classes throughout the year. It is, a class once a week that you do take to become certified. And then, of course, there's trainings throughout as you continue through the process.
Somebody who is thinking about it, what advice would you give them at this point? What sold you on this is something that you should be doing with your family?
It's something that I've always wanted to do, but I went in, and I'll tell you, I went in saying we were only going to take 2 children. And as you can see, we have 7 currently. The experience has been wonderful, and, it's so rewarding to see these children thrive within your home. I wouldn't change it for the world.
Well, you went from having 1 kid to feed to 8.
To 8.
That's a pretty big jump. Good for you.
That's a beautiful thing, though.
Wow.
Thank you for what you do.
Stacy, thank you, and thanks for sharing your story.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Have a great day.
If you are interested, you can go to our website, WIBX950.com, click on Foster a Better World. This is really an incredible, I don't want to say service, but you really can help change a child's life. That's not an overstatement. That's not an exaggeration. You can really provide some support and stability to a young person who needs you.
I was going to ask, there's the comparison of the Brady Bunch, but it really would be the Brady Bunch plus 2. But I'm wondering, is Alice there? Because you would kind of need Alice, wouldn't you?
I think probably she wishes she had an Alice running around helping because there's probably a lot of laundry and a lot of cleaning to do with 8 children.
All right, let's switch gears. We talked about the town of New Hartford. Mitch Ford is the Democratic chair for Oneida County and has discovered something on the town board in the town of New Hartford.
Now, he is not on in that capacity today, I don't believe, though. He's on as a taxpayer.
Correct. Right. I was in this case, he is not the chair of the Democratic Party. He is a resident and taxpayer in the town of New Hartford. And Mitch, good morning. Thanks for coming on.
How are you doing?
Good. So give us the background. You foiled some information. I'm going to have about a couple of minutes to get into this, and then we'll do news, and I'll continue on the other side. But talk about what you discovered.
Well, it all stems last year when New Hartford was going through their budgetary process, and I was invited to the New Hartford Library. It was the legislators' day, and I was approached by Dave Reynolds and about how they were cutting funding to the library, and if there was anything I could do to help them to maintain the current funding. And we only have one Democrat on the town board, and that's Richard Woodland. And I said, sure, I would do that. And I made a call, and we talked about it, and Richard was willing to go to increase the funding, bring it back up. There's been a lot of cuts in New Hartford. The senior center was abolished. parks budget's been cut, youth program's been cut. So, I felt the library was important, but I was later approached by Paul Michonne about health benefits, if I could talk to Richard about that too. I believe everybody should have some sort of health benefits if they don't get them through their employer or something to that effect. And Paul made a good case about, it would only be for town board members that don't have insurance, period. So I went there, and I went to that meeting that night because, well, I also talked to Woodland about that also, and it was almost too easy of an ask.
Yeah.
He says, yeah, sure, no problem. So I went to the meeting that night to make sure that it got passed, and sure as everything, it was town board members who need insurance got it, period.
That was
what
the
happened
discussion,
in
or
the
that was
October meeting.
Okay.
We fast forward to December's meeting. An issue was brought up by Councilman Mesa about it was really unfair, and I've provided you the minutes of the of the New Hartford meeting.
Mitch, we do have that, and I'm going to have to break here to go to news. We're going to get to the other side and talk about the fact that there's now a stipend if you don't have insurance, and it's pretty hefty. I think taxpayers might be surprised. We'll get to it coming up. Mitch, stand by. WIBX Utica Rome. It's 8 o'clock.
It ended a lot quieter than it started. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. The COVID national emergency, it's over without any fanfare, just a presidential signature behind closed doors.
After more than 1 million deaths tragically in the United States, and after 3 years since COVID-19 hit, we got this notice from the White House. It says on Monday, April 10th, 2023, the president signed into law House Joint Resolution 7, which terminates the national emergency related to the COVID-19 pandemic.
That's Fox's David Spunt. The emergency declaration gave the federal government more power to deal with the virus. A separate public health emergency still remains in effect for another month. A wounded Louisville, Kentucky police officer remains in critical condition the day after being shot in the head trying to stop the gunman shooting up a bank.
This should not continue to happen. Evil should not try to prevail and take over our city, and we let it happen.
Interim Louisville Police Chief Jacqueline Gwynn Villaruel. Another officer was also among the 8 injured. 5 others were murdered until the officers killed the gunman.
Police have identified the suspected shooter as 25-year-old Connor Sturgeon. Officials say he was an employee at Old National Bank, but was recently told he was being let go. Officials say he live-streamed the attack on his Instagram account, even telling friends and family about his plans.
Fox's Todd Pyro, a Democrat kicked out of the Tennessee legislature by Republicans for leading gun control activist protesters into the Capitol. Justin Jones has been sworn back in as his own replacement until a special election's held.
Nashville's Metro Council voted unanimously to reinstate Jones back to his seat. He is now headed back to the Tennessee State House as an interim representative.
Fox's Charles Watson in Nashville. The other ousted Democrat, Justin Pearson, could be reinstated tomorrow by a council vote in Memphis. Russia again insists an American journalist jailed as an accused spy, Evan Gershkovich, broke its laws. The U.S. disagrees, declaring him wrongfully detained. America's listening to Fox News.
David in Pennsylvania writes in to tell us about his experience with Relief Factor. I tried Relief Factor for hip pain and was surprised that it also helped relieve my shoulder and foot discomfort. After taking it for a month, I stopped, and sure enough, the pain returned. So I started taking Relief Factor again, and within a week, the pain was relieved. I'm now taking Relief Factor daily. Well, thank you, David. You know, I've heard your story before, people stopping and then starting again because it works. As you all know, I had trouble with aches and pains, and climbing steps was brutal. Your first step to living the life you love, free from aches and pains, could just be to order the 3-week Quick Start for the highly discounted price of $19.95. After trying Relief Factor, over 500,000 people have gone on to order more. Try it for yourself and see what all these people are talking about. Go to ReliefFactor.com or call 800-4RELIEF to find out more about this offer. That's 800-4RELIEF. Live your best life and feel the difference with Relief Factor.
We have sunshine. We're up to 41 degrees. Good morning. I'm Jeff Manaski. WIBX News Time is 8:03. This news update is brought to you by Cliff's Local Market. They keep you going. Stay tuned. We'll continue our conversation with Mitch Ford about the situation over the health care in New Hartford coming up here in just a few minutes. Well, members of the New York State Legislature voting to approve another budget extender that would keep state government running for the next several days. The new extender will be in effect until next Monday. It'll ensure that thousands of state workers still receive their next paycheck on time. Lawmakers still trying to hash out those three issues we keep talking about: bail reform, minimum wage, and affordable housing. The original deadline was April 1st. Meanwhile, Governor Kathy Hochul announcing her nominee to serve as the next chief judge of the New York State Court of Appeals. She has selected Judge Rowan Wilson, who has served as the associate judge of the Court of Appeals for the past 6 years. The governor's previous nominee, Hector LaSalle, was rejected earlier this year. If confirmed, Wilson would become the first African-American to serve as chief judge. The chief judge position has been open since last year when Janet DeFiore stepped down. State police releasing the identity of the person killed in a crash in Verona this weekend. Troopers say 24-year-old Sabrina Stafford was driving on Beacon Light Road in Verona Saturday night when her vehicle went off the road and struck a row of trees. She ended up being partially ejected and was pronounced dead at the scene. It's believed speed was a factor in the accident. No other injuries were reported, and the investigation into that accident is continuing. Congressman Brandon Williams will hold his second of 4 scheduled town hall events with constituents in the 22nd Congressional District tonight. This one happening in the city of Rome. It's scheduled for 6:30 tonight at Stroud Middle School on Laurel Street in Rome. To register, just go to the Congressman's website. You can find a link for that as well on our website at WIBX950.com. And Mega Millions now up to $441 million. If you're interested, tickets are $2. The drawing will be streamed online at megamillions.com. Another great day on tap today, tomorrow, and the next day. Details on the forecast from Eyewitness News Chief Meteorologist Craig Flint.
I'm Eyewitness News Chief Meteorologist Craig Flint in the WIBX Weather Center today. Partly sunny, windy, milder, some clouds by afternoon with a brief sprinkle Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, a high of 69. Tonight, mainly cloudy, brief sprinkles, low 46. And tomorrow, breezy early, a few morning sprinkles, then a mostly sunny, warm afternoon, high 71. For more on your local forecast, tune to Eyewitness News at 6 on WUTR. I'm meteorologist Craig Flint on WIBX 950 at 106.9 FM.
All right, in sports, exciting night last night at the Adirondack Bank Center as Utica City FC pulls out a 7-6 victory. Dramatic win because they trailed 3-0 early, battled back to tie it, then fell behind again. But they do pick up the overtime win, 7-6. Christian Segura, 3 goals last night. That is a hat trick, and including the game winner. Elsewhere in sports, the Mets get a 5-0 shutout victory over the San Diego Padres. Mets have now won 3 straight games. Max Scherzer picked up the victory, his second of the season. Jeff McNeil and Francisco Lindor each drove in 2 runs for the Mets. Yankees lose the series opener to the Cleveland Guardians. 3-2 was the final. Ian Hamilton charged with the loss. He allowed 1 run over 2 innings of relief. Giancarlo Stanton drove in both runs for the Yankees. They're now tied for second in the AL East at 6-4. Pro hockey, the Islanders' playoff chances taking a hit. They fell 5-2 to the Capitals in Washington. The Devils still in the hunt for the Metropolitan Division crown. New Jersey will be looking to get back in the win column when they host the Buffalo Sabres in their home finale coming up tonight in Newark. The WNBA, the NBA play-in tournament begins tonight. The play-in tournament begins with the Hawks challenging the Miami Heat in South Beach for the East's 7th seed. Also, the Lakers will take on the Timberwolves. The winner there gets to battle the Memphis Grizzlies. And then 3 teams are tied for the best odds in this year's NBA Draft Lottery. The Detroit Pistons, San Antonio Spurs, and Houston Rockets all finished tied for the worst record in the league. They all have a 14% chance of winning the NBA's Draft Lottery.
Okay, it's 8:08. Mitch Ford is a taxpayer in the town of New Hartford, and is discovered that, number one, they've added health insurance to board members, town board members in New Hartford. And then it was determined that maybe, this was right where the part where we had left off, where maybe it wasn't fair that, these members who didn't have insurance received insurance, but the members who already have insurance were getting nothing. It's just not fair. So there should be some sort of a stipend for members who don't take the insurance, right?
Sure.
How much is that? That's what we're learning as Mitch dug in, foiled some information, and is on the line right now. Mitch, I'll let you pick it up from there.
That's correct. And that's not an uncommon practice to give a stipend to people who don't take health care insurance. In a lot of businesses, it is a common practice, but it's never equates to what's called the cost of a full single payer insurance, meaning they don't give you, if the insurance policy costs $8,500, they don't give you $8,500. They'll give you $500,
right,
or maybe $1,000. But I heard of this. It was happening. I said, this just can't be true. So I went and got the minutes of the December 23rd, I believe, 2022 council meeting, and sure enough, it was held up at it was at the last item that Councilman Mesa brought up, and felt that they needed to be compensated. And I believe there was a statement there, and it's in the minutes. And Supervisor Michonne saying, "Well, it's either you guys get all or the whole thing goes away. It's all or nothing." And he goes, "Pretty much." So there, and I got my hats off to Councilman Reynolds.
Mm-hmm.
He's the only one that said, "Hey, we didn't vote for this. This is not right."
Yeah, so I'm trying to understand, Mitch. They decided to add the health care. You said it's common practice that they might get a stipend if they opted not to take it. But was that discussed as part of the initial legislation? And was this even properly added?
No, absolutely not. And Councilman Reynolds, if you read the minutes, brought that point up. This was never, ever brought up. And the October, it was not in the legislation that I saw. The vote was just to give benefits to town board members, health benefits to town board
to those who didn't
members.
have it. Yeah,
nothing over a stipend.
And the issue that you're raising is it's when they're paying out $8,500, which would be the cost of the single plan. That's on top of the $12,000 salary. I know that's not a lot, but that essentially amounts to a 75% raise.
It's a lot for a town board.
Absolutely. And this is in a time where the town board members have abolished the senior center for New Hartford. They're sent to Utica now. And it's also in those minutes that, well, we've saved money by cutting the senior center and the youth program. There's some youth programs they didn't pay as much into, and also the parks. So, to me, like I say, I don't deprive anybody of health benefits. If it wasn't for my health benefits, we would have lost my house 2 years ago due to me being so sick with COVID, and I'm very sympathetic towards that. But did they do anything illegal? I don't think so, but unethical. And, to me, they're just taking money out of the cookie jar that really had stayed there for the people of New Hartford. And, public trust, really, in their council people is just it's right now with no news coverage. I originally sent this to the Rome Sentinel, and 2 months ago, and they said, "Oh yeah, we're going to run with the story," but never did. It goes unchecked.
Right. People don't know because people are not going to the meetings. They're not going back like you did and reading through the minutes, or certainly foiling for information. I do understand that people need health insurance, but usually, I would think that serving on a board, the fact that you're making $12,000 a year, you're adding $1,000 a month to your income by doing the work on the board.
Mm-hmm.
You can debate all day long that maybe that's too much or too little. I guess you can debate that, but are we doing these things to get the $12,000 a year salary plus health insurance? Most people, you would think, would have health insurance on their own or have come up with some way to get health insurance. You don't necessarily have to join a board in order to satisfy your need for having health insurance, I would think.
That's true. And over the past 10 years, 10, 15 years that I've been involved in politics, most city municipality, like the city of Utica and the county, used to give health benefits to legislators and the council people in Utica. They stopped that, and there's very few municipalities right now that give out health benefits. I think Whitestown is one, and New Hartford. That practice was abolished under the Trzynski terms, and it was just reinstated.
Well, I think even more unique, Mitch, is that it is reinstated. Like, I would assume that anyone that still offers it, the word "still" is the important word here.
Right.
Very few municipalities are going back now with the cost of health insurance and adding that in as a perk to being on a board.
That is true. That is true.
Another thing that you raised was the cuts to parks, youth programs, and the senior center. If I'm not mistaken, in looking through the minutes, the funding for the senior center was like over $300,000. So it's not like if they didn't do $8,000, the senior center would have been opened. Correct me if I'm wrong there. But can you talk about the cuts to the other programs, youth programs, and the parks department?
Well, I don't know exactly. I was just parroting what was put into the minutes.
Right.
They saved money there, but I guess the health benefits were extended to all, not just the board members. It was extended to all electeds in New Hartford.
So I wanted to ask you that as well. It wasn't. I think it started. The discussion started as just the council people, the 4 council people, and the supervisor, and it grew to more people than that. Is that what you're saying?
That's correct. That is correct.
Do you know how many in total it includes now?
Well, as I pointed out in the what I sent you, I believe the highway supervisor who works pretty much full time, Rick Sherman, and Michonne, who puts a ton of hours in, get it. The 2 judges get it, and those the judges put in a lot of time. I mean, they're there probably to equivalent to a full-time employee. So, like I say, I don't deprive anybody of health insurance.
Right.
It's just what I'd like to focus on is why did they give them $8,500?
Here's the other part of this. When you think about how many people listening right now have fully paid health insurance at their workplace.
Well, they pay. No, they pay in 15%.
They do pay in 15%. All right.
Right.
But even 15% is a great deal.
New Hartford. After the 15%, and it cost New Hartford $8,500 and change for the health insurance plan.
And if you opt not to take the insurance, you get $8,500.
Precisely. Now, I also bring in the effect that I believe it was last year's budget or the year before, they had some healthy increases. They wanted to bring the council people up to $20,000 each.
I remember that. Yeah.
Well, they got their 20.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost 21. It's about 21,000 right now. But if they take it, and not all of them take it, and I want to reiterate that's Councilman Reynolds said he would not do that, and the only people that signed up for it was Mesa, Woodland, and the guy from New York knows Lenhart.
Lenhart, yeah.
So they went right down there right away and signed up for it, so they started getting their money.
Wow. All right, we'll dig in deeper on this, Mitch. We appreciate you uncovering this.
So wait a minute, that's another thing too. This started out for four council people and the supervisor, and are you saying 4 of the 5 or 3 of the 5 aren't even taking it? Aren't even taking the medical benefit? Aren't even taking the health care?
That is correct. They're all taking the stipend except for Michonne.
Interesting. We'll reach out and invite them on the program.
But again, Reynolds refused the stipend. He refused to take the health benefits, and but those 3 are here's something else. All of them are leaving the town board this year, one way or another. Jim Mess is leaving the town of New Hartford board, coming in December or January of next year. He's done. Lenhart is not running again, and Woodland is running this year. I don't know if he's going to make it, but I actually called Rich and I said, Rich, do the right thing. Don't take the stipend. And we had that conversation. He decided not to listen to me, and he kept his stipend. So, yes, I'll put on my other hat now as a New Hartford committee person. I wouldn't support him at this point for re-election unless he gave that up. And because this was a horrendous breach of public trust, as far as I'm concerned.
I agree. And had you not uncovered this, and if we were not talking about it right now, most people would have no idea.
Bill, this is the problem. This would never fly 5 or 6 years ago. I remember the days when Jeff Manansky used to come down to Utica Common Council meetings, and he'd be right there, and he'd have questions. And Liz Cooper and Renee Gramella. I mean, these were good journalists, and politicians back then were kept in check by the news media. They're not ananymore.
Well,
they're
it's
really
because
not, because
there is no news media today. It's completely decimated.
So I'm really thankful for you giving me a chance to get this out here, because, as you can see, I sent that to the Rome Sentinel 2 months ago.
Yeah.
And I did a follow-up call with them. Yeah, we're still working on it. But, again, the Rome Sentinel is the town of New Hartford's official paper.
Right.
So,
yeah, a lot of municipalities left the OD because the OD has been just completely decimated. There are just a few people left over there. And most times when you're reading what's in the paper, what's on the app, it's 2 or 3 days old. Okay, Mitch, we're gonna dig in. Let's see if we can find out, and we will post it. It'll be a story that does get published.
Sure, and I'm anytime you want to have me back on to talk about this issue, feel free to give me a call. I definitely am very upset about this.
Yep. Mitch, we appreciate it. Thank you for taking the time to dig in on this. We appreciate it.
Shedding some light there. Certainly, we do appreciate it.
And I have to say, he did all the work.
Yeah. No,
he did all the work.
Yeah.
Everything's right there. It's already been foiled.
2 comments from Lance and Lee. I told you, Lance, we're not boycotting you. He says, Jeff, I don't know why this guy's so surprised. Many municipalities had their employees' payroll with this insurance buyout. I believe the town of Lee was $7,500. I believe the city of Rome is $2,000, and there are a few more that I don't know how much the buyouts are. And then he says not only do municipalities and local governments have some of the best health insurance coverage out there, they also have some of the biggest buyouts for members that don't need insurance. It's disgusting, he said. We will reach out to the members and invite them on.
This was done very quietly, and this was done improperly.
And it seems like, too, that...
And they're taking the full amount. They're taking the full value, which is something that's not common.
Now, I don't know this. This is based on just my conversation with Mitch.
And these are board members. These are board members, not necessarily employees. That's
right,
different than your supervisor whose full-time job is working for the town. That's a different situation.
Right. These are part-time council people. And Mitch had meant this, but the thing, too, that I guess I'll see clarification on, but according to Mitch, it started out as one thing and totally evolved into something else.
Yeah. Let's talk about if you're looking to sell your home in 2020, where are we?
It's 4042.
It's 4042. It feels it. It feels like it's 9:30 already. River Hills Properties. If this year, in 2023, you're thinking about selling your home, it's River Hills Properties. Reach out because it's all the extra services that they provide to a potential buyer, potential seller. If you're selling your home, why wouldn't you list with River Hills? All of the things they do, from the book, 40 to 100 pages filled with details about the home. Your listing agent is there every time the house is shown. There with you every step of the process, every step of the way. And it's all about making the process easier and less stressful. In Barneville, Little Falls, and Utica, online, it's riverhillspropertiesllc.com. Call 315-896-1009 and lower your stress level. They actually reach out and assist you from start to finish. Nobody sells homes like River Hills Properties. 315-896-1009, River Hills Properties. riverhillspropertiesllc.com.
Buy a home. It will feel great. Now I have to go buy mulch, pull out weeds, seed the grass, cut the grass, do that aeration thing. It's too much. A branch just fell. Lovely.
Don't worry about all of that. You worked hard to get the home. Let You Call We Haul do the rest. Be the envy of the neighborhood. You call, we haul. We do it all. For a free consultation, call 315-351-6412 or visit YouCallWeHaulNY.com.
Hi, this is Tom Cole from Gates Cole Insurance with exciting news. We're expanding with a couple of new offices in our area. One new location is Tall Pines Insurance in Boonville. They're another independent insurance agency that takes pride in making customers happy. That fits our culture at Gates Cole perfectly. Here's Greg Lee from the newest Gates Cole location, Tall Pines Insurance in Boonville.
The reason why I got into insurance was I wanted to allow my father the opportunity to retire and give back to my community. You know, we had the Boonville fire that wiped out a large area down here for us a few years ago, and so we showed up at the fire. You know, we were right there, ground zero, with our insureds, who made sure that they were taken care of quickly. You know, we were able to get people the money that they needed to cover their expenses from that loss.
For insurance for your home, auto, business, and just about everything else, trust your local independent insurance agency, Gates Cole Insurance, proudly representing Finger Lakes Fire and Casualty Company of Trumansburg, New York.
Are you ready to make the most important decision for your child's future? Some are easy, some are not. Some make all the difference, like choosing Notre Dame schools. Offering grades pre-K through 12, your child will be ready to learn and thrive in a challenging atmosphere surrounded by great teachers and the most current technology. Notre Dame offers small class sizes, high academic standards, and spiritual fulfillment. At Notre Dame, we foster an environment of diversity and community. Students feel supported and more confident in achieving their goals. Our students learn from each other and are challenged to grow and develop their innate talents. Notre Dame is faith-based, but everyone is welcome. If you have higher expectations for your child, Notre Dame offers a higher level experience. If you're ready to launch your child's future into the most successful career path and build the next generation of leaders, call today for a tour or visit NotreDameUtica.org. Notre Dame schools, ready to learn, destined to lead.
I'm Scott Trout, attorney and CEO of the domestic litigation firm Cordell & Cordell.
We help men deal with the life changes triggered by divorce, such as child custody and property division, among many others. But life changes also occur after divorce. These changes can make parts of your existing court order irrelevant. If you feel a modification to your court orders might be necessary, talk to us at Cordell & Cordell. We're a partner men can count on.
Online at CordellCordell.com. 518-554-0000. 100 Great Oaks Boulevard, Suite 110, Albany, New York, 12203.
Only 1 week left to file your taxes. But don't worry, Jackson Hewitt is racking up the assists. We guarantee your biggest tax refund and guarantee the accuracy of your return for life. So make a fast break to Jackson Hewitt. Our tax pros will get you filed or get you an extension before the deadline. Beat the clock and the crowds. Come in and file today. When every dollar matters, it matters who does your taxes.
Hey, the official coffee of the Keeler in the Morning radio program is Daylight Donuts in New Hartford. Chuck Sedella and everybody over there make sure that the drive-thru is fast as can be. You're in and you're out and you're on your way. Have you tried one of their amazing lattes? 14 different flavors, delicious. Manasseh's favorite is the Almond Joy.
It was delicious. It's so delicious.
Might just be a candy bar in liquid form. It is, it's quite delicious. Coffee, espresso, lattes, iced coffee, breakfast sandwiches, fresh bagels, and fresh donuts every day. It's Daylight Donuts in New Hartford.
Well, Bill, we have a mix of clouds and some sunshine. Right now, 46 degrees, looking at a high today near 70. A closer look at your forecast coming up in just 2 minutes. President Joe Biden heads to Belfast in Northern Ireland today to mark the 25th anniversary of the Good Friday Agreement. It's the first stop on a trip that will also include a visit to the Republic of Ireland, where he'll be meeting with Irish leaders and deliver some remarks. The peace deal brokered by the U.S. helped end decades of sectarian violence between Catholics and Protestants. A bill ending the national COVID emergency has been signed by the president. The GOP-led resolution was opposed by most Democrats in the House, but the White House has said it would not veto the measure if it made it to the president's desk. People in Louisville, Kentucky are keeping the victims and survivors of Monday's deadly bank shooting in their thoughts. Prayer vigils were held at multiple Louisville churches Monday night after 4 people were killed and over a half a dozen more were injured. Police say officers exchanged fire with the shooter, who was killed at the scene. A grand jury hearing evidence this week regarding 8 Akron, Ohio police officers involved in the death of Jayland Walker. The 25-year-old black man was shot 46 times in an altercation with police during a traffic stop in 2022. The incident sparked riots in Akron last summer, and now businesses in downtown are boarding up windows ahead of word on whether or not those officers will face criminal charges. New developments in the case of a Virginia teacher shot by a 6-year-old student. The boy's mother is now facing charges and is expected to turn herself in later this week. She was indicted by a grand jury yesterday for child neglect and not locking up that loaded gun. Police say the boy opened fire 3 months ago in his first-grade classroom in Rickneck Elementary, Newport News, hitting Abigail Zwerner in the chest and the hand with bullets. Las Vegas leads the nation in major cities in evictions. It ranks at the top of a recent study from Eviction Lab. Las Vegas had 57,000 evictions last year, according to the Legal Aid Center in southern Nevada. In an average year, there are more than 30,000 evictions in Las Vegas alone, so nearly double what is typical last year. Your WIBX Weather Center forecast comes to you from Eyewitness News Chief Meteorologist Craig Flint.
I'm Eyewitness News Chief Meteorologist Craig Flint in the WIBX Weather Center today. Partly sunny, windy, milder, some clouds by afternoon with a brief sprinkle Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, a high of 69. Tonight, mainly cloudy, brief sprinkles, low 46. And tomorrow, breezy early, a few morning sprinkles, then a mostly sunny, warm afternoon, high 71. For more on your local forecast, tune to Eyewitness News at 6 on WUTR. I'm meteorologist Craig Flint on WIBX 950 at 106.9 FM.
Some sun, 46. It is 8:32.
I want to talk about Omni Surgery Center. Dr. Hyder, located in the office the business park, where the office location is, and the surgery center, which is located on French Road. It's about pain, and you don't have to live with pain anymore. Killpain.com is the website. You can check it out. I have a personal experience that we went through with my dad, who recently had injections, and it's amazing, almost miraculous, how you can walk in with pain and walk out with the pain gone. It's nothing short of a miracle. It's incredible. And we're talking about people who are living in pain that just can't escape the pain. The medicines don't work. They just can't escape the pain. These injections make all the difference in the world. And it may be you're in need of surgery. Less invasive surgery procedures done. People travel from all over the country to here to have procedures done with Dr. Hyder. Call them today and get information. The website is killpain.com. You can call them at 315-765-8448, where modern technology meets cutting-edge surgery. The Omni Surgery Center with Dr. Hyder in the business park and located on French Road.
Power Sports of Utica is holding its grand opening event on the 28th and 29th of April. We have over 350 vehicles in stock and incoming for you to see. Come celebrate with us at the store over great food, drink, and entertainment. We can't wait to see you there.
It's our Power Sports of Utica grand opening, April 28th and 29th, with over 150 new and used Harley-Davidsons in our pool. 0% down, 3.99 APR on select Harleys. Grand opening discounts on boots, helmets, shirts, and apparel.
Hi, this is Lori with Express Employment Professionals. Are you looking for a new job, a career change, a position within your field? Express Employment Professionals is the staffing firm for you. Express has multiple job opportunities across many industries throughout our region. Are you an IT professional? Find that perfect company now. CNC machinists, HVAC and boiler mechanics, we've got the job for you. Are you a warehouse worker, machine operator, forklift driver? Find a better job now. Industrial painters, sheet metal workers, find that new job now. Carpenters, welders, the skilled trades, you're in demand. Bookkeepers, supply chain specialists, and administrative professionals, start a new career today. Our process is easy. Go to expressmohawkvalley.com to complete our online application and apply now. Our recruiters will call you to set up a meeting. You can also call our office at 315-790-5723. Express Employment Professionals. We make it our business to put you to work.
My doctor told me my blood pressure is borderline. I figured I could worry about it or do something about it. So I took control with Garlic Healthy Blood Pressure Formula. It works safely and naturally to help maintain healthy blood pressure with a custom blend of garlic, vitamins, and minerals. And it's odor-free. I'm taking charge with Garlic Healthy Blood Pressure Formula.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. The term natural references only the garlic in the product. Use as directed.
Spring has sprung. It's the Strong Spas Factory Store Spring Sale all month long. Sangertown Square. Blowout prices on floor models and factory recertified spas. Clearing out the floor to make room for more. Immediate delivery. It's a spring super sale at Strong Spas. Visit the largest spa showroom in the country. Huge savings. Price to move. See for yourself. Find them in Sangertown Square and ask about their financing options for credit qualified buyers. Get in your spa at Strong Spas. Hurry, these spas won't last.
Fred F. Collis and Sons Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. And if you're thinking about the warm weather that's going to be coming this week, we're going to be actually considering a little air conditioning. Probably won't turn it on, will you? But you'll be thinking about it. And that insulation plays such a huge role in keeping your house cool in the summertime. And all the predictions so far this year we're looking at a sweltering hot summer. I won't be complaining yet. Collis has been doing insulation for many, many years, and it all begins with a home energy assessment. They'll come into your home. They'll research the construction of the home, every step of improvements that have been done in your home, and they'll give you ideas on how you can actually save money. And one of those ways may very well be insulation. And there are plenty of options out there, incentives and rebates that New York offers, and Collis can walk you through those programs. In some cases, people have had their entire improvement paid for through the New York State incentives and the rebates. An upgrade that is completely or partially paid for. Talk to Collis. They'll walk you through the program. It's Fred F. Collis & Sons Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Call them today.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
I have a couple of other comments here on this New Hartford thing. And Mike says the bottom line is they never should have agreed to giving health care in the first place, because now you have a situation where you have to have some sort of equal benefit to others. His understanding, he says, is serving an elected position for New Hartford isn't supposed to be a full-time job. And he also says we should be live streaming the Bird's Nest so that we can compete with the Falcon's Nest that is currently running. Good morning.
The Peregrine Falcon, yes. So, in case you missed it this morning,
That's
Bill,
a live feed.
That is a live feed.
I have a robin that has found its way aggressively creating a nest that I tried to stop several times, and we've gotten nowhere. So
and
now
it keeps
I have
coming
a nest.
back.
It keeps coming back.
It's like the cat, like the cat
rebuilding.
in the song.
In right now here, if you'd like to take a shot at winning some money, there's a great opportunity with the 12th annual Notre Dame raffle, where first prize is $100,000. And Richard Hensel, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Good. How are you?
Good
to be here.
So tell us about there's a $100,000 prize, $10,000 prize, and a third prize of $10,000. First of all, where does the money go, the money that you guys raise?
So all the money that we raise goes to both of our schools, both campuses, pre-K through 12th grade, and supports all of the great programs that we offer through each of those grade levels. So,
how much are tickets? Where do you get them?
$100. It's a $100 donation, and again, the first prize, we upped the ante this year from last year $60,000 to this year $100,000. And as Bill said, with those two $10,000 prizes, and several actually lower prizes as well.
And I think part of it is making it easy for people to get out and purchase a ticket. There are different options out there that different places you can go to get the tickets.
There are. So in addition to calling the school's main office, we were also set up at Shenanchery's Market, as well as the Panowitz, and we've had a great team that's been getting out there to local parishes and malls and things of that sort too. So it's really just about getting the word out there. I'm sure in this day and age, a lot of people can use $100,000 right now, so it's a great opportunity.
Yeah, you aren't kidding. You know, I had in the news this morning that I think, was it Mega Millions or Powerball, was $441 million, but the odds of that
the odds of this are pretty good.
Yeah.
How many? Tell us who you are and good morning.
Hi, I'm Mary Rossi. I'm the elementary school principal at Notre Dame Elementary. And I just came along today to invite everyone down to our campus. On the 25th of this month, we are having an open house for kindergarten. So this is the time of year that everybody starts to think, uh-oh, I have a 5-year-old, and
it's time.
Where should they?
Yeah.
Where would they want to be? So I'm inviting everyone down on the 25th. Like I said, we're gonna have a nice presentation. Can learn about us, and we of course are part of the Notre Dame schools, and that's where they start. They learn real school, and so come on down and see what we're all about there.
And you can certainly talk firsthand to the importance of this fundraiser, raising this money, and how it affects students and all the way down to kindergarten.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We have some wonderful, wonderful programming there, and our little ones take part in all of that. I mean, it's a full academic program, math, ELA, science, social studies, but then they have all the extras also. They have their phys ed. We are really focused on the arts, so a fundraiser like this really benefits our music program, our arts program, and in the fall, we are being lucky enough and fortunate enough to start a violin program for our little ones. So all of this really feeds into that programming. So thank you for asking.
The open house that you mentioned coming up on the 25th?
Yes.
Is that for, will both campuses be having an open house, or is it just the
It's
K
really
6?
just geared towards our kindergarten program.
gotcha.
So parents, grandparents, you can step in. Like I said, if you have a 5-year-old, and that is a 5-year-old that is turning 5 by December 1st, then come and just take a look. We'll have a nice presentation just to talk a little bit more about our programming there. And then we'll take a tour of the school. If you've never been with us, we're at 11 Barton Avenue in South Utica. Then you'll have an opportunity to go into the classrooms, meet the teachers. We have a fabulous faculty and staff there, and just to get an idea, again, what we're all about.
A nice I went to, when it was Lourdes at the time, I went there, and so they have a nice auditorium, very nice auditorium. But also one of the things I always remember, the gym is still set down right
Sunken,
below.
yes.
Yeah, sunken
Yes.
in. It's kind of a unique experience if you're you know, at that time I was in CYO playing basketball.
Yeah.
But
Wonderful.
it is a unique campus and facility, and I know there's the space across the street and next door. I wanted to ask you as well, you do these unique fundraisers to support programs offered through Notre Dame. If a parent or grandparent would like to send a child to Notre Dame for kindergarten, but they have concerns about maybe the cost, there are programs that help individual families as well, right?
Absolutely. We have scholarship opportunities always, and when they come to the open house, or if you can't make it on the 25th, we are always happy to do a private tour for any family that it just doesn't fit into their calendar for this month. And we can talk about that and answer all your questions that you have.
So, and then one more time, April 25th, the time, and they can just show up, or do they need to
Yes,
pre-register?
Come to the Cornwall entrance there. We are a secure building, so you'll just come there and you'll be greeted and welcomed in, and we look forward to seeing everyone. Please mark that on your calendar.
And Rick Hensel, the associate principal at Notre Dame at the junior senior high school. Again, $100,000. Remind everybody how much tickets cost, where do they get them, and what's the deadline? This is the drawing is actually coming up pretty quick.
Right, so we'll be selling right up until the day before the actual day of the raffle. Yep. So tickets again cost $100. First prize of $100,000, 2 prizes of $10,000, and then several lower level prizes ranging from $500 to $1,000. Door prizes 50-50. And that ticket also guarantees entrance for 2 adults to the raffle party, which starts at noon, and will go right up until the actual drawing of the raffle. And to Mary's point also, I just wanted to point out that at the junior senior high, we also do have year-round tours and shadow days so that students can have a real-life Notre Dame experience for a day, find out what it's like, and see what we're all about. So.
You know, in taking the umpire course, which Notre Dame graciously, we were in the cafeteria and in the auxiliary gym, and it was my first chance to see is it called the Monsignor Willenberg Auxiliary? So, and I know Monsignor Willenberg, who is, of course, passed now, but all the way back in the St. Agnes days. Now you're getting into the old East Utica stuff, but it's a really nice facility there. If you haven't seen it yet, or maybe you were a graduate like me and haven't had a chance to see that addition, it's actually really nice. And Monsignor Willenberg, I'll always, hello, Chillins. He'd call the kids Chillins. For really as far back as I can remember. Kindergarten is really, I'd known him that long. So great facility, great campuses, and check it out if you haven't seen it recently.
Thank you.
Rick Hensel, is the associate principal at the high school, and Mary Rashi is the elementary school principal. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
And Richard, either I'm getting older or principals are getting younger. So good for you. Congratulations on the position. So I do think it's a combination of both, but probably more I'm getting older. Thank you, guys, and good luck. 8:47. Quick break. We'll come right back at WIBX.
Honey, why are you peeking out the window and spying on the neighbors?
I can't stop watching what they're doing to their house. Look at that. They added a sunroom and put in a pool. Do you think they won the lottery?
No, not the lottery. Julie and Jeff got a home equity loan from Adirondack Bank. They're using the equity from their home to renovate.
Really?
Yes, Adirondack Bank has home equity rates as low as 3.99% annual percentage rate. You can access the equity in your home to fund almost anything.
Huh. Maybe we should call Adirondack Bank. What about a new kitchen? Wouldn't that be awesome? Well, then, of course, we would need new furniture, and we could repair the roof. Oh, and even take that trip to Italy that we've always talked about. And, of course, I need a new car.
Slow down, honey. Let's go talk to the experts at Adirondack Bank.
Stop into your local Adirondack Bank for more information on home equity loan rates as low as 3.99% APR. Or call 877-404-2265 for credit costs and terms. Apply today at AdirondackBank.com. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Are you considering buying an electric vehicle or a plug-in hybrid? Wouldn't it be nice to just fuel up at home with an EV charging station? Potentia is helping to make the convenience of charging easier for your home and your business. As a leader in green electrical projects, Potentia has completed hundreds of large sustainable commercial projects across New York State and are now getting into the residential market. No more stops at the gas station. Charge at home conveniently and economically. With New York State's zero emissions mandate by 2035, Potentia can help design, supply, even install residential and commercial EV charging systems at your home or your business. From permitting and design through the complete installation, it's as easy as 1, 2, 3 with a turnkey EV charging solution with various packages and options available. They guarantee your satisfaction with all their products and their workmanship. Visit Potentia at 4685 Middle Settlement Road, New Hartford. Give them a call at 315-765-6184 or view their website at potentiamanagement.com.
Hey, Ricky Z wants you to know at Steve Ponte Mazda, they focus on creating the ultimate customer experience and an incredible driving experience. They only select the best late model Mazdas for their Mazda certified pre-owned vehicles, and they offer them with a 160-point inspection and the balance of the 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. And if you need a lower price or payment, Rick says, come in and let's make your deal on a Mazda certified pre-owned vehicle. And see why their customers always say, it is always easy to do business at Steve Ponte Mazda Commercial Drive in Yorkville.
Hi, this is Bill Cole from Gates Cole Insurance with exciting news. We are expanding with a couple of new offices in our area. One new location is North Country Estates Insurance in Lowville. They are another independent insurance agency that takes pride in making customers happy and fits our culture at Gates Cole perfectly. Here is William Schaub from the newest Gates Cole agency, North Country Estates Insurance in Lowville.
Working with us as an independent agent with this many companies, we will often call our clients and say, we're going to reduce your premium if you like. We have the companies that do well in New York and specifically this area. The coverages that we provide are commercial and personal insurance. That's the home, the auto, ATV, motorcycle. There's nothing more fun than taking care of a customer and being able to tell them that we're able to save them some money.
Proudly representing Finger Lakes Fire and Casualty Company of Trumansburg, New York. Gates Cole Insurance. We'll take care of you.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone, America's #1 brakes destination. We have the pads, rotors, drums, shoes, and brake fluids to improve your stopping power. Right now, save 15% when you get any 2 Duralast rotors with the set of Duralast brake pads. Missing a tool? Ask about our free Loan-A-Tool program and borrow the tools you need to get the job done.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Claim based on data from the MPD Group 2021. Deposit required for Loan-A-Tool.
Aches and pains aren't trophies. They're just barriers keeping pros like you from getting the work done. You know this business can be back-breaking. All the more reason to partner with someone who has your back, like Clinton Tractor and Ferris Commercial Mowers. Ferris is about helping you finish strong and feel good doing it, with patented suspension technology that allows you to mow faster and get more work done in comfort so you can feel good tomorrow. Visit Clinton Tractor today or at clintontractor.net. Ferris, work hard, feel good.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All right, so one other part that we didn't get to on the New Hartford story. So in the town of New Hartford, there's also been talk, this is according to Mitch Ford, there's also been talk about rewarding board members with a lifetime health insurance. So when you leave the board, you continue to have health insurance until you no longer need it because you die.
So if just for I don't mean to say
I mean,
just for only
people
for,
could be lining up to run
I know.
to be board members.
Oh yeah, they're going to primary the primary.
Wow.
I mean,
wow.
That's something that is offered in Congress, right? Like you're on the health care forever.
Well, you'll see. I guess. Do you get it forever? I don't know.
I think you do, or maybe you have. No,
but
I think
you'll
you
see
do.
it. You'll see it with teachers. They'll have a contract there where they may receive as part of their retirement program. But this is a part-time job. Being a board member for a township would be a part-time job.
Yeah.
How do you first of all, how do you get health insurance in a part-time job? And I understand it has happened over the years, but most municipalities are getting rid of that. But now not only will you get your health insurance, or you can cash in and get the stipend if you don't take advantage of the health insurance, but you might be able to keep it for the rest of your life.
Members of Congress do not receive free health care, according to USA Today. I just quickly Googled it. So free life, yeah. I mean,
that's a deal. Okay.
If I live in New York Mills, can I run for New Hartford Town Council? No, I can't, right?
There is a part of New York Mills, a small little section of New York Mills that is in the town of New Hartford, I believe.
Because I'm thinking about it now.
What? I cannot leave this morning without talking about the story that broke on this broke yesterday. The story that broke on the Dalai Lama.
So is this legitimate? This is a legitimate story?
It's legitimate. It's a real story.
This isn't like a fake. What do they call it? A deep fake, where they hide. It looks like someone's image or voice, but they actually didn't say what he's about to say.
Let me give you the background on it. The Dalai Lama, the spiritual head of the Tibetan community, apologized Monday after a bizarre video of him kissing a young Indian boy on the lips and asking him to suck his tongue went viral. The footage, which took place during a public event in India, has sparked widespread criticism of the child rights groups as well as social media users, calling the move inappropriate, to say the least, inappropriate for the 87-year-old head monk of Buddhism's removal. The incident, here's the background on this, took place on February 28th at the Dalai Lama's temple, according to the BBC. Video shows the Nobel Peace Prize winner sitting in a chair with the unidentified boy, and there's a picture of it. I had it. I guess it's gone. Sitting with the unidentified boy, standing directly in front of him, and several people surrounding them, including one holding a cell phone. While holding the boy's hand, the Dalai Lama points to his mouth and sticks his tongue out, kisses the boy on the lips. People in the background are then heard clapping. They're heard clapping and laughing. The leader then rests his forehead on the boy's forehead before sticking out his tongue, saying, "And suck my tongue." I don't get that. Maybe he was meant to be funny. I don't know. I just don't know where that's funny. In a statement released on Monday, the Office for the Dalai Lama said the spiritual leader regretted his actions. His Holiness wishes to apologize to the boy and his family, as well as many friends across the world, for the hurt his words may have caused. A statement posted on the 87-year-old Buddhist monk's Twitter account. His Holiness often teases people he meets in an innocent and playful way, even in public and before cameras. He does, however, regret this incident. Of all things to be, I don't know, joking about. It's really weird, right?
Yeah. So, and I also think that the apology is kind of calling additional attention to it. We regret this. It was embarrassing. Like, not just, hey, it was a joke. Hey, it was an off-the-cuff remark to get another laugh. The nature of the apology makes it seem like that was a sincere request.
And it is
to a
not,
child.
It is not a. Apparently, he laughed after saying it, but it's an odd right? It's kind of odd. It's really odd. Some news refers to Tibetan culture about showing tongue.
Right. I was just going to say this.
Right.
The black tongue, they thought people were possessed if you had a black or dark-colored tongue. So instead of saying hello, they used to stick their tongue out. Am I correct on this?
But this video is
to show that you were not a demon.
This certainly is not any cultural expression, and even if it is probably outdated and probably shouldn't be used. The incident is not the first time the Dalai Lama has been lambasted for comments in public. In 2019, according to CNN, the spiritual leader apologized after suggesting a female Dalai Lama should be attractive. And in 2018, the outlet reported he was criticized for suggesting Europe should be for Europeans only while discussing the subject of African refugees. Sounds like maybe the 87-year-old Dalai Lama is not thinking straight these days.
Is this also something we'll look back on and go, boy, nobody knew about it until something happened? Again, with the inappropriateness with a child. And I, to be honest with you, I think the apology makes it sound even worse.
Now, suck my tongue. It's just not something I'd ever expect
I'm also
to hear
wondering
from the
if
Dalai
there's
Lama.
Like a lost in translation thing. I'm glad you mentioned the tongue and the culture, because that was what I had thought as well. There was a belief, back hundreds of years ago, that basically there were demons roaming around, taking over human bodies, and essentially you could tell a person was possessed because when they spoke or something, you try to look at their tongue because they'd have a black tongue. That was the thought.
Based on the reaction, it is not being thought of as something like that. Crazy.
This is a weird story.
Portions of the program today brought to you by the Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills. I'm currently trying to get more sleep these days, and the Falcon Clinic is working with me. I'm a project, so I've been told. But if you're looking for a family doctor, or if you have any issues, they're accepting new patients today at the Falcon Clinic. Dr. Zielinski, Dr. Shimoleski, call them today and schedule an appointment. 315-507-4751. You can visit them online at thefalconclinic.com. The area's premier osteopathic medical clinic accepting new patients today. 315-507-4751. The Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills.
Sunshine goes a long way.
Going to be a beautiful day. Enjoy it. WIBX, Utica, Rome.
He worked at the bank. He shot up, but he was going to lose that job. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's what we're learning from Louisville, Kentucky. The day after Connor Sturgeon's rampage, police ended by killing him.
He had a long assault rifle, and you hear the shots just start firing. Whoever's next to me got shot and hit bloods on me from it.
They survived. 5 others did not. 8 were wounded, including 2 police officers. One of them, a rookie cop on the job for just 10 days, shot in the head. Now critical but stable after brain surgery.
The White House says President Biden called Kentucky's governor last night about the shooting, and several vigils to remember the victims were held here in the city overnight. And as the investigation continues, we have learned the 25-year-old gunman live streamed the shooting on social media. Investigators